the weather's been too nice. So it's like, well, that's what they kept down the hill.
iPad on the iPad.
I don't,
They had that there.
they're 50.
April.
Hey there, Beth.
About bailey, like I was.
We have to be back in Canada by.
Oh, well, did you walk?
Yeah.
I think you're good. We made you walk around.
Well, I'm not gonna be on
It was all you saw.
Didn't even hear it.
That's like going Iowa.
That's a replacement for the packet high. It's fine, sorry.
Are
I
you,
don't mind.
from like, but Vancouver area?
How are you? No, we are east. I'm the Okanagan. Halfway
What holiday
between
is this? Are we Valentine's?
Vancouver and Alberta.
Oh, okay. We're doing another.
I went past Valentine's.
Oh, good. I've been to Eastern Canadian countries. So now I can go.
It's nice to have a Valentine's.
Yeah.
I totally forgot it was Valentine's Day. I didn't do anything. Yes, it barely happened.
A little windy out there.
Yeah, sorry.
Even hard to walk in. It's so windy.
Oh.
I approve of all the changes.
Pickleball.
All those in favor?
Oh, look at this. You see where that Pokemon?
I love that.
Yes.
So organized.
Yes.
So many million?
Yes.
Just so.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Somebody was very smart.
Organized campaign.
Yeah.
I saw someone did it. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like 18 million? I would have cowboy boots. That's what we need.
She was on the
We
subcommittee.
just need one of those and then
know.
all our financial challenges will be
And
over.
that's right. When line dancing was a big deal in the nineties. Had cowboy boots.
So I pick one.
Line dancing is.
So,
Come back.
when did the elections start?
Oh, sometime.
March 9th.
Sometime in March.
Hey, I wonder if you guys could,
It's taking one.
can I ask you guys to look at your announcement you got in the mail?
Oh, I didn't even look at it.
Okay,
Yes.
look at your announcement and see if under the date, you will see West Center Auditorium. Because we want to find out, for some reason, it glitched out and didn't print.
Okay.
I sent it, but it didn't print, but we're wondering if it didn't print for everybody or it didn't print for just some people.
And what are we looking for?
West Center Auditorium, right under the date.
Oh, the forums.
So it's like at the top for the announcement for the election.
I just put it on the wall and I didn't even look at it.
Up in my refrigerator.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I lost track. We didn't have to do anything with that unless you wanted a mail.
Paper ballot, that's it, yeah.
Code on
Right, it had
Oh.
code though, that's helpful.
How's your code
Yeah,
to vote?
but if you get an email, your email will be fine.
I mean, the email. Okay.
You'll get an email and your email is attached to the voter code. That's a replacement for the packet.
Dave, no.
A replacement to this?
Thought they're pulling my hair.
Yes.
So if it.
Yeah.
The one that we got in the.
I would look really
Replacement.
more bad. I got it on here.
Just let me know. I would rather know if it is on there.
Okay.
If it is on there, I would be
Board members.
happy.
And only
Okay.
two are- The others are your assistants, you're not doing them at
I know I got mine at home, it's not on there. And I've had people call and say, where is it? Well, yeah, that's all right.
Oh,
yes, I did.
I thought I would ask the board to see if they knew, if they've seen it, so.
Board president, right?
Did you?
I was board president, as he has a couple of things.
What?
Isn't that?
Whose mother?
Mine. Get someone.
His mother and I were born in the same year.
In New Jersey?
Jersey City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Got the
I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest, yeah, but.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny.
6 degrees.
Small world.
That is.
Too bad.
So I just find here, my grandmother was, they don't come up for re-election next year.
She.
No, if I don't get voted, I don't get voted in.
I delivered your money.
It could be, could be.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really the same
You
year.
know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
In the same place, same hospital?
Wow, there's a lot going on today.
Yeah.
Margaret Haig Hospital.
It does.
I met Cal last week. It's the same birthday as I do. Never met one.
Oh, really?
Trying to.
Mine is the same as David Cassidy. Do you remember David Cassidy? David Cassidy from the Partridge Family? Yeah, mine is his. And there's a president too. Theodore Roosevelt, maybe? I forget.
Oh, that's right.
No, but they're not, it's not the same that was on the website. So this one's new as of today. Yeah, yeah.
In the
Okay.
house.
Oh,
Oh, that one's close too. Where'd you get that down there?
tenant, I didn't get it at all.
Oh, okay.
But this one has my.
The thing that you and I read different.
We haven't heard from Beth, huh? Beth? No.
Yeah, especially if you're properly.
I'm not trustworthy.
It was on this old one.
Unless you have sent something since I got the house.
That's here.
Right, because you had horrible recovery.
Right.
No, and you actually got the answers.
I wonder, I hope they're not joining online.
Why, formatted my email probably this
I think
time.
they're joining online. We're trying to do Delta.
Here is the information. Maybe that helps.
You know, Vince, Vince. That's who's here.
I know.
This.
I know her. Diane West.
Marge wasn't here.
Yeah, I know Diane. She's an art, she's in jewelry.
Half the people.
Bart should be online, but I don't know.
Diane does scores.
There's Bart.
Mom does scores.
Is it Gord's? Oh, that's where I know her. That's where I know her. I was thinking it was Julie. No, it's Gord's. That's right, from the Artesian here. She and her husband have a pool. Oh, he is joining. It's just,
Yeah, but I think she lives in your neighborhood too.
All right. How far?
that's where I know her.
Marge or Beth?
I haven't heard from
Dave Barker will not be here.
Oh, he won't.
March might not be here.
said he couldn't make it.
Okay.
Didn't say why.
And no Beth.
Bye, Bart.
I don't, well, I haven't heard from Beth.
Buenos tardes, all.
All.
And he looks like he just got out.
I just finished playing 3.5 hours of tennis.
Yes, we are so sympathetic.
Did the win?
I think so.
I'm well prepared to doze off.
Good one.
I think everything in pickleball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two, yeah.
1 minute.
Why
Point is started, so if you down in Mexico?
why play?
I was in Southern.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I wanted your piece out of the country.
Who?
No, it's at home.
He's here. I guess I ain't never seen him out at the kitchen.
The hair, there's his kitchen. We've got
Yeah.
here.
He's lucky.
Well, it's probably right about 2,
Yeah. It is 2:02.
because my watch
Mine
says
says two
just
here.
now hitting 2.
Yeah.
So we'll call to order, and Beth, if you'll read the roll call.
Kathy Batchelor here. Andy English here. Beth Dingman here. Nellie Johnson.
Here.
Bart Hillier.
Here?
Steve Reynolds.
Here.
Dave Barker.
Dave sent me a note, said he would not be attending today.
Marge Garneau.
Same.
Same with Marge. She had a HOA thing. She said she might get here later, but we're not sure.
Bev Wallace.
Didn't get anything from Bev.
Fanny Smith.
Here.
Jody Walker.
Here.
And Scott Summers.
Okay, so we have a quorum. And we'll move to, do we have any amendments to the agenda
There's
or? There's Bev. Okay. Any amendments to the agenda or a motion to approve the agenda, either way?
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Looks like it's an unanimous. Okay, next item is to review the draft of the 2026 annual work plan, and that was Scott's. So we're going to hand it over to him.
Great. Thank you. What's going on down there?
No, we might have to separate them.
I think so.
We're just talking about who should be seconding. It's a race.
We're gonna have to go out back.
We might have
I'm gonna
to,
have to do the hockey swear.
something like that, absolutely. Okay. This is the updated, new and improved draft 2026 work plan. As I said in an email last weekend, that there were strangely some items that had fallen off, and Nancy and I have talked about it and can't really remember, mostly because it was last February, exactly why. There might have been some logical reason, and neither of us has any notes or knows why. So nevertheless, what I have done is added and highlighted here the items that were added based on this information that most likely should have been included. I think you all have the updated version now.
If I have yours. There's yours.
Oh, yeah, good. So the first one, under the initiative 2.2.3, which is develop relationships with similar organizations, best practices, et cetera. One of the bullets is, and we've had this on every year of, this is 5 of 5 years, survey similar organization as needed and share all results with the board of directors. I will say these are sometimes operational things, or they could be a salary survey. It could be, if we're going to the FOC or something with some benchmarks on some fees, then it would seem appropriate. But there are some things that really wouldn't be appropriate to share with the board because it's really out of your bailiwick. So I'm wondering if we couldn't add a caveat here that it says, and share all results with the board if appropriate, or share appropriate or pertinent, relevant results with the board. Anyone agree with that? Or no?
How about when relevant?
And share results with the board.
You could take out the as needed that's in the middle and put it at the end.
Okay, that's true.
So there's similar organizations that can share all results for the board as needed. Maybe it's not quite as clear that way.
Okay.
That works.
As needed. Okay. I think that'll save you from seeing things that really aren't germane to where you're at. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Can I just add, it doesn't relate to similar organizations, but I can't remember if it's addressed in other parts of the work plan. But it was brought up at one of the board meetings about surveys that are done of our membership and done by operations, that the results should be shared with the board and with the members. And I don't know, I don't think it fits here that this talks about.
No, it would be under communications
Okay,
director.
so I'll wait to
Yeah.
add it, look
Yep.
at that here. Okay.
I had that one too.
Did you have that one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
And that came out in my review, so we want to make sure that's added on here too.
Okay.
Okay. So, the only difference or addition here, 5.2.1 is review the strategic plan regularly. We have been providing, we dropped off for quite some time, and then this last fall, we started providing, I believe it was a quarterly report to the board on the annual work plan. And I think that was very helpful for the board. It was helpful to keep staff on track as well. And so I've got this bullet here, continue providing a monthly or quarterly report in the meeting book to the board. And my opinion is quarterly is good. But if you want it monthly, we'll change it to monthly.
Could you say or quarterly unless some specific update is needed, timely type thing? You see,
I think if it's a big deal, we shouldn't wait a quarter, you know what I'm saying?
I know. You know, I just don't want the ambiguity in here. I'd rather have it say monthly or quarterly so that everyone knows what to expect. So let's,
I think you've been doing it quarterly. I think that the question is the last quarter, it dropped off. And in the last quarterly report, it really came through our email. It didn't get into the meeting book, the one in October. So to me, that's what's important because then it's available to the membership as full. And that quarterly report is really useful in demonstrating how much is happening in our operations. And I think the monthly comments you make are just more highlights happening in between that. It doesn't have to tie back to each objective.
I do that every week. Those are,
Now you do it every week.
right.
And, but I think quarterly is
Okay.
is good. The one thing I'd add there is we have a governance section in our, on our website, and that has a work plan, on it. And so I would add and post, the quarterly update on the website in the governance section. Because we have a strategic, it's posted on the left-hand side of our website. It's posted, governance, and then we have the work plan. The one that's there is from February. So to me, it's just transparent and to say, you know, talking about to our membership, informing our membership what we're doing. I mean, we can bring up the website if you want to see where it's at.
But
You know what I'm talking
it
about?
would be in the meeting book anyway on the website.
Well, people don't know what's in a meeting book. I mean, you don't know, you have to go back into the agenda. So if you're looking at the governance structure, we have wonderful documents on our governance structure. So right now we have a strategic plan and it says work plan. And it's the February one. So to have the updates just demonstrates to the people what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how the website's structured right now.
Steve?
Okay, so this is all new to me as a new board member. And I'm looking at all the different work items. But I don't know where we are, what the status is for these work items and what the measurement for completion is. Like, how are we 80% done? Are we 50% done? Are we 30% done? So to me, that would give me a lot more information on, because it's a 5-year plan, right? And every year we amend it, we make changes, and then
Are you talking about the strategic plan?
I'm talking about the work
It's
plan.
for the year.
Yeah, okay, so it's just for the year.
Work plan is
This is just for the year.
yeah.
Okay, so for the year, it doesn't tell me what the status is now from last year. Like, this carries over, right? From year to year. It's based on the 5-year, it's based on the 5-year strategic plan. I think that's where it comes from.
No,
Probably our evaluation.
planning.
Steve, are you looking for what does success look like?
Yeah, I'm looking at the status, like, from, I assume that this was carried forward
But-
from last year, a lot of it. Because,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, let Scott respond to that.
Oh, I think Melanie had her hand. I don't want to, but I'll jump in.
Okay. Lenny, you haven't finished, have you? Or how?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But that's okay. Nellie, you go and I'll go after Nellie.
Okay.
The status of the work plan was handled in December, in first part of January. So we got the December annual work plan update. So that was the status of what happened in 2025 as part of the evaluation. And then the items were carried over into the plan. So the sequence wise, and it's important for the people who are new, and doing it the first time. So at the evaluation, we went through this and so this is the update. And then on these items, it says carry over to 2026. And so from the December document, that is how we get to the January document. So we start fresh here. That's my understanding of how it's worked.
Yeah, I agree with that for the most part. if the 25 final plan, which is part of my performance evaluation, which you all saw and discussed and debated for a good amount of time, that's the results of the 25 work plan. That's the status right there. Those items on that that say move to 2026 get moved to 2026. If they're ongoing, then they move to 2026. There are some that you're not going to see that move to 2025 because they're finished. We finished them in 25.
Right.
But it stated that in
It
the
should
work plan that came to us at the evaluation.
At the end of
period.
25,
Yes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So thank you, that's exactly right.
Let me ask another question. Some of these items, though, have been on the work plan for multiple years, right?
Right.
Some are ongoing.
That's because they're ongoing. If you look at the strategic plan, it shows, to Scott's point, that they are ongoing year after year after year. Some of them are ongoing. Some of these items, we will probably see in 27 to 32 because they are items that will continue on and on.
Yeah,
Some of them,
okay.
to Scott's point, have an end date. So improved virtual access to meetings, including committee meetings, that was done, completed. So we're not gonna see that anymore. We don't evaluate it.
Okay.
We shut down.
Okay.
So you want to tie the strategic plan, the annual work plan, you want to tie it back to here.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only comment is, and maybe it's going a little bit to the left side here, but I appreciate your reporting, Scott, and I know that I'm always a little bit concerned about over-reporting, particularly for staff and management. Because having been on your side of the desk and reporting to boards, you do put a lot of time and effort and thought into what am I going to be reporting to the board? And I think we as a board, we have to be cautious about what is really, really important and what is just noise. And I'm not going to change it for this year because part of the strategic plan is to have these kind of reporting. But I think we really want to think about this going forward into the next strategic planning process is the over reporting. We're retired. We got nothing else to do and we love reading this stuff. But I can tell you when I was sitting in Scott's spot, it takes up an awful lot of time. I think I just caution us that we don't over ask for reports that are potentially unnecessary.
Well, and that was kind of my point when I was saying it's in, the report that he's doing, the quarterly is in the meeting book, then you're taking more time to add it to the governance report.
You're just adding it from a transparency standpoint. You're adding it for the membership, not for us. People
But the
can't.
membership should be able to read it in the meeting book. If they have the interest. If they have the
I think it's
interest.
extremely, you have to be very knowledgeable of how to find agenda items in the meeting book when they come up. It's not transparent enough. You've got the report. It's an excellent report of what management and what we're doing as a board. And all we have to do is post it on the governance site. I mean, it's just.
It's just a reposting. It's not a
just
rewriting.
it's not a rewriting, it's a
copy and paste.
reposting.
It's copy and paste.
It's all you're doing.
It's just a new link kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree, if you don't know that something was discussed in a certain month, you don't know to look for the January meeting book or the November meeting book. So if it's in one spot under governance.
Yeah.
So if we could take out the monthly
Kick out monthly.
and just say a quarterly report and add to the governance website. And so it's just copy and paste. No problem, right, Nancy?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as copy and pasting, but
Right.
anyway, we'll let that roll.
So is that okay? Scott?
It's not my preference because it's another moving part. It's another thing that we need to add to the tickler every quarter. We have to have Colin upload it or you upload it. It's easy for things like that to get missed. I think there's 5 people that would be interested in the quarterly update report. I think it would be more prudent to put the annual final report on the website for transparency. But on a quarterly basis, I just think that's overkill. That's just my opinion. We'll do it if this is what the board wants, but I don't think it's necessary.
Anybody else?
I'm okay with it.
I would have to go with what Scott says. If you put it on annually, that really should keep those 5 people who need something to read at night taken care of. So do we still take out,
Take out one.
a monthly and,
Yes.
and leave it at providing a quarterly report? And annually in the governance section.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I can live with it.
Yep. It's not like we're hiding the document.
No,
That's right. It just
It's
gives,
out there.
gives
They
that,
just- They're just gonna have to look for it. If they wanna know it, they'll look for it.
it's fine. We
It's
put
there
it
on
on
a quarterly,
annually.
it's there on a quarterly
website?
basis.
Yeah.
No,
Governance.
that's not what we're saying anymore.
Oh, you can take it out.
Only
of the quarterly, too.
documents.
Do
in the
annually.
annual report
You know,
in the governance section.
I thought we weren't gonna do that.
I think we said that, well, Kathy said.
Annual.
Well, the final annual
Oh, the
report
We're doing
Okay.
quarterly to the board and
and the
doing
annual report at the end of the
Quarterly
year.
to the board.
Yes,
Which
quarterly
means
to
it'll
the
be in the
board.
board meeting. packet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it'll be out there.
Yeah.
They'll look for it. If they're that interested, they'll look for it.
Okay, that's.
But it is there.
To the government
The
section.
meeting book is there for anybody that wants to kind of look at it, not just for it.
Yeah, right? Probably old too.
Take it off.
Well, and I don't think it hurts to remind during the board meeting where members can find stuff. Just like we usually say, if you want to be part of this committee, we really control,
Yeah.
So Scott, you could put the annual action plan,
Message.
final report,
Yes.
More work plan.
work plan, I'm sorry.
Who's snoring?
Reporting the meeting book to the board and post the work plan.
Is this okay?
I'm in a
Yep.
feisty mood today.
To the board, section, work plan, final report to the governance section.
I woke up at-
Is that, hey guys, is that all right with you, the way he's got that written?
Yep, yeah, it works.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay,
great. The fourth bullet here is, showing that we've started the process for the 27-31
Right.
strategic plan and that the board held a work session in January on that. So we have started that one, which is great. Another strange thing, because last year the GVR Foundation board meetings was listed on the work plan, I thought, and then it got dropped. I don't know how. And so I have added it again.
Yep.
I'm not sure what's happening.
University of Arizona.
Yeah, it's a community advisory board. Yeah, I participate in that group. It's graduate students in the public administration school, and some of them are going to nonprofits, some going to local governments. But I've been asked to participate in that, so I've been
Mike.
attending that for 3
Isn't that
years.
what Mike does?
That is with Mike.
Yeah.
Mike has asked me to sit on this committee, and I've been doing it for 5 years. Yeah.
good. I knew you'd been doing
The
that.
the students present their capstone project to an audience, and I'm a member of the audience. And then often there'll be questions and answers or suggestions from other members to the students. So it's a nice way to kind of give back to graduate students.
Jody?
This doesn't limit you, does it? If it limits you, then why don't you
Oh.
say to include but not limited to?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But we,
Because if something comes up mid-year, it's like
sure.
stupid to come back and answer.
And I think right here, we've just got such as, so,
Okay.
participate with outside organizations, right?
Sure.
But yeah, and things do come up, now and then. When I first got here, we participated in the development of the fire department strategic plan.
Bart, yeah, Bart. does have a
Oh,
question.
Bart has a
Thank you.
question.
Mark, I can't see you on my
Sorry, Bart.
iPad and somebody just noticed you were there. So you have a comment?
Yeah, I liked it better when GVR Foundation board meeting was not on this list. I'm here to help you out, Scott, because I've heard you sit in that very chair and observe that you were required to attend too many meetings. And, you know, attending the board meeting for GVR Foundation, which has obviously is not linked in any way with GVR, except as to this MOU. You know, the MOU link is covered by the MOU. So I'm not really sure why that's there. And again, I'm trying to save you a meeting a month in my generous and thoughtful way.
I appreciate that.
And I, you know, oh, well.
Thank you. Okay, so Scott, you want to continue?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Nellie.
Are we on, before we move out of the board section, were you moving on to the communication section?
I was going to move on to, if you're ready to leave administration, we can go on to boards and committees.
Oh, I thought we, okay, right, okay, that's where I'm at too.
All right, boards and committees.
Glad to hear it.
No, I got a lot of copies in front of me.
Okay, board and committees. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I think a lot of these are ongoing. You know, employing sound investment strategies, utilizing the investment committee, developing and operating commitments from the board. That's through the board credo. You had the fall workshops, and the board. In this one in particular, we haven't had an opportunity yet to do a follow-up on these fall workshops. And I'm hoping that we can at some point this spring, just as part of a work session to talk about things and maybe make some CPM changes if necessary.
Scott, on that one, I think one of our prior drafts had like February or March in it, and I circled that because I think the training on the with the committees would be important when the new board members are added. And so to do this in April and just kind of target that as our date for April.
Sure.
Or later, but or preferably earlier in the year.
Yeah, because we did it in December.
Yeah, and it would be
And it
worth.
was late.
Yeah, so I would say put a date of April in there.
For the training?
Well, I mean, it forces the discussion to take the survey and say, what do we want to do? Because we have the new members at the table.
You don't even actually have the training as well.
No, it's conducted follow-up of developing agreements.
Okay, so Scott with Snowbirds might not be here in April. That have to be Zoom.
So it's also, yeah, it could be
I
Zoom.
think that's okay.
Is that okay?
I mean,
Stay here.
it has to be almost. I mean, so many of you aren't here half the year. Thank goodness for Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Again, continuing to utilize the staff liaison to help facilitate committees, encourage trainings. Here's the other training opportunity, identify board training opportunities. Maybe we want to make this April also.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that's where I saw it.
I think that is, but yeah.
You can make those meetings.
But it would, but that date would be this year, not. Oh,
So I wouldn't be in country.
oh,
So you've done this surveying. It doesn't mean we can't survey again, but this was, we did get a survey from Mike Letcher on ongoing training, and I haven't seen the results of those yet, so.
I think that's where the February date came in.
Okay.
Of looking at for the new board, there's no reason to survey us again in February.
Yeah.
It would be April,
So we want to survey him again in April.
or have a discussion, how to repeat it.
Sure.
It was very valuable training, I thought.
I thought so too.
Yeah. particularly when you try to bring other new board members into the group.
Okay, is there anything else with boards and committees?
I have one change, add-on on 5.3, 2.3, and that is implement the revised committee structure. It passed by the members. So if the bylaws pass, we have to go through and merge the nominations committee into the board affairs, P&E.
Right,
So that,
that makes sense.
and I don't know where this would go, but another one is develop a process for recruitment of committee members.
And so can you go back to your first one, the
Yeah,
implement?
That would be implement revised committee structure if passed in the bylaws. Or,
5.2.3.
well, it's underneath that. So, I mean, because their staff liaisons are going to change. I don't know if that's the exact spot, but
This is 0.2.
Okay.
I mean, it fits under.
Karen?
It passed.
If
It
passed, right?
passed instead of,
Oh,
yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
thank you. Great.
And then the next one was develop a process for recruitment of committee members.
That's a separate.
Yeah,
bullet point.
separate someone.
Yeah, where would we
Was that?
put that? I mean, we could just create another bullet right here, I suppose. Um,
What was that again?
March 2nd will be the day of the.
Okay.
Go process.
Showcase.
Committee members.
and when do we want to
Your governance plan.
have that done?
Andy's got a question.
So who is going to develop a process for recruiting committee members? Is that the staff liaison? This is underneath that.
Yeah, I think this is under boards and committees. I think the board would want to give us direction on that. We'd probably want to do a work session at some point. You could also use the BAC at some point, would be appropriate. I agree. I think staff would come up with some recommendations. And I do think a lot of it is subject to what happens with the bylaws.
Yeah.
So that will help shape that process too, I think.
I know there had been some discussion in the past about doing like a leadership academy or trying to get people interested, that route. Committee
In our own
members.
course study you're talking about,
Pardon?
because in our own course study courses that are offered.
Yeah, I mean, creating
Like a
creating
GVR
excitement
course. Yeah.
for committees to get people to join.
And I really think that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a tactic, not a.
Swag.
Put on little skirts and shorts.
I love it.
We almost have to handcuff.
I love it. Okay, I would, I think we will look at the bylaws, make sure that changes. And if it changes, then we're gonna be recommending some additional changes to the CPM that we would
Yeah.
take to the,
Right.
Yep.
probably the BAC.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna take some time. I would put a date of June on this, maybe.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Right?
It's a good starting point.
That's a
for the
good starting
following
point,
year.
yep.
Okay.
Bart, you have another comment? Your hand is still up.
He left his hand up.
I don't think
He's
he's
left.
He left his
No,
hand.
I'm trying to figure out how to remove the hand.
Oh, you did it. Oh, you did it. All right, Nancy helped you out there.
So unmute.
Yeah.
Okay, are we on to communications?
Okay.
The one we were discussing earlier could be.
Here it is.
There it is, that survey.
On some
Here it
bottom, at
is.
the very bottom.
And
Survey members on topics as needed, ongoing, and you could put on that and share reports with the board and members.
Okay,
And there's a typo on the first one.
well, there is.
Silent instead of.
Sign it.
Oh, I'm sure that was,
Question about the big screen TV thing. It seems like a big investment.
Say again, yeah.
Under 1.3.4, it says review and assess benefits of installing a big screen TV. Well, you are reviewing and assessing it, so that's it.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, you know, we have ongoing TV monitors in some of our centers. There's one at West Center, there's one at Los Campanas, and they show what events are coming up or what meetings are coming up or what club activity is happening. And we don't have them at all the centers, and I don't think we need to put them at the satellite centers, for example, but in my mind, it kind of makes sense that we have something at all major centers. That's why I wanted to put that on there.
Hey, are we in facilities?
Can I go back?
I know.
I think there's-
I only brought up that last item because we had discussed it previously, so I brought it up first, so I don't know if there's anything
Okay.
above that that needs to be discussed.
I have a comment. There is, there are some surveys that were saved on the website. If you go back, 2023 was the last survey that I saw. So that would be good to save these to our website in case any members want to look at them in the past.
Right, sure.
The survey results,
They're there.
I saw 2023 as the last
Yeah.
one.
There's-
Last time we had a major numbers.
There's different kinds of surveys.
Policy.
When we're doing,
Yeah, that's
We've had-
comprehensive.
We had a survey this summer on outdoor space.
Yeah.
Why can't we save those on our website?
I suppose we can,
we can do anything. It's just another thing. That's my concern.
for how many folks, you know, so we can
Right.
balance it out.
I mean, so the thing that you're seeing from 2023 was the last time we did a statistically significant member survey. It wasn't just a
Right.
survey monkey. It was something that was really pretty accurate and important because it showed how we're doing on our strategic plan. And if nothing else, it should be where the strategic plan is. But I think if we go back to the other thing about doing these surveys, then sharing the results with the board, in my opinion, sharing the results with the board and the committees, it is more than adequate to put it in an e-blast. But I'm concerned about putting everything on the website because things get missed. It's just more moving parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a part of being transparent and
Yeah,
what to
and
do.
informal straw polls for the most part. that we're
Right.
doing it.
Exactly.
None of us pretend to be statisticians or professional surveyors. We're doing informal straw poll.
So the guest policy, that was just there from the straw poll.
We did not hire a statistician. So-
Yeah, that was basically Survey Monkey, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was,
But staff development.
Staff developed it.
we spent a lot,
But I-
we spent a lot of time generating those questions and it was very significant in the answers in drafting what the guest policy was. So why wouldn't we want to
used
save that?
results of that online.
Right, but we made it, we made decisions based on it. I mean, it's, well, I don't, again, I think there's so many, maybe 15 people really care about, who would spend some time looking for this, right? I mean, I think most of our members are not gonna be spending, that's part of the job of the board, seems to me, is to make these decisions based on the information we get, and I'm not sure we have to share everything with the populace. If they want it, they can ask them.
It's just
Or write a letter.
to be checked and make sure that it doesn't degrade and, you know, so it is an ongoing, it's not like it's a post it and walk away from it forever sort of thing. And we post things on the internet, we're constantly scrolling through our pages and checking and making sure that, you know, that they're all still functioning and linking to where we should. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not ever been, the website is not intended to be an archive of all of our content.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
No,
I think we heard the members speak at our board meeting that they don't get surveys, that they get the emails or the e-blast. They didn't know anything about the results and
Yeah.
I think to be able to say when we do But and we make decisions, either we as a board are making decisions or that operations are making decisions. And if you're gonna do a survey, it's I have respect for the staff and doing surveys. I have respect for the outside people who have helped us on surveys. I think it's good to just post them on the website. So people say, you want to know about the surveys of the results? Go to the website, it's right there.
Why can't it be in an e-blast and then?
Because the e-blast gets lost. And
It doesn't get lost.
Not
They're signed up.
Not
for it.
everybody
No.
sees them.
But then-
Not everybody
but then-
sees them.
that I,
Yeah, but then they sign up. for
Not
it.
everybody
They
does.
sign up.
Look at it.
Hang on, one at a
The
time.
e-blasts are on the website.
E-blasts are on the website.
But you're gonna have to go through weekly e-blast to find the results of a survey that you're making policy decisions on. It's just not, they're not.
Well, Natalie just said the e-blasts are on the website. So
Yeah,
if
but
we
you have to
put
go-
it in the e-blast, should be reasonably, I think what we're doing is we're developing a whole lot of extra work for staff and whoever keeps the website up.
For the board meeting and
I got an idea.
hear the
Okay,
discussion.
Natalie?
What if there's a policy decision where you're drawing information from straw polls, we could include the link to the e-blast where those results are published in the board meeting
That-
minutes.
That would,
That's a great idea.
as long as you, right.
Board meeting minutes?
Yeah, and I don't agree with
Yeah,
that just
yeah, yeah.
That'd be
because
too hard
they're,
to find.
You can't find.
well, 10 years down the road, the link might not be there. So that's the only reason I don't like that is then you
Right,
can't go
again, it's a
through it.
link that needs to be maintained.
So, yeah.
Another thing, that's, I guess, my
I mean,
reservation.
how many
they come to the
surveys do we
meetings?
do a year? Maybe one?
Depends on what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
We've done
like-
as many as 3 or 4
Yeah.
polls. We don't do surveys very often. We do straw polls.
But I guess I don't understand the difference between a straw, a straw poll, you have to have validity in a straw poll. You're gonna be making decisions on it. Am I right?
It's a, hey, tell me what you think.
Well, yes,
Sure.
right. And so you want to know how many people are responding to the question in order to know whether it's valid to make a decision on it. I don't know if there's it's
We don't,
different.
like, when, for example, we're about to do a big survey for the strategic plan. We're going to establish beforehand, what kind of response we need for a statistically relevant, data points, and we're going to have an independent statistician looking at all of that. When I throw together a survey monkey and put a link in the e-blast, I'm just asking the members, hey, tell me what you think. It's a casual conversation sort of thing. Now, the guest policy thing, I can see why you would consider that different.
Right.
But would you rather have cornhole or ping pong? And that's just a conversation,
I think that's part of the reluctance of, and the question, is it necessary to put that kind of thing on the website? Again, I don't think so, but if this is something the board wants to
Well, we get a whole
do,
bunch of stuff
we
on
can
the
do it.
website. They won't be able to find it.
Correct.
Joe?
You know, I think it's a pretty clear line when it's something like the guest policy pass that was used heavily, the results of that, and we decided on policy. That's something I think should be. Doing cornhole and Mahan, it's not that big of a deal, that's operation level, I don't think we necessarily need it. But when we're using it to decide changes to bylaws and CPM, I think that's important.
However, I have had people ask me, well, what were the results of, the small survey that went out? I won't even say what it was about, because I can't remember, but you have people asking you, well, what were the results? So if we send out the results on the e-blast, every time we have a survey, once we have cut off the survey responses, then they should be put out on the e-blast for those people, because that's where they found the survey to begin with. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten the survey, is my thought anyway, because the guest pass policy we put out, Natalie, didn't we put that out on e-blast? Okay, and we had 2,100 responses. And like I said at the meeting, that was 230 some odd people less than what voted in the last election. That's a good response. It's a really good response. To my way of looking at it. So
So
we
are
were,
you saying that it should just be e-blast or e-blast and a survey result someplace else?
no, I think the e-blast is good enough. It should be good. Those are the people that took the survey. They're the ones that are asking, well, what were the results of the survey?
We're still putting information in
You have to use up earlier one. Is that-
Yep.
Well, so I just added this. I don't, if this is a reasonable compromise, it's kind of what Jody had suggested, but if it's policy related, I mean, you could say everything is policy related too. Are we going to do cornhole? Or are we going to do badminton? I mean, that is a policy decision, but it's also an operational decision.
That's programming.
Okay. Well, is this something that you're okay with then, or how would you wordsmith this? Laney has a question too. I'm sorry. The very bottom one here, bullet survey members. And I have, and if policy related, post to the website.
Post on the website.
Lanny?
I guess I would defer to staff's knowledge on this and their opinion on this regarding. I like what Natalie's suggesting. You know, if it's critically important, something that is statistically significant, where we have paid money to have a statistician, for example, the strategic plan or a major customer, a member survey that is statistically significant. We've paid for statisticians, absolutely, let's go. Survey monkeys, stuff like that, just to kind of get a feel, an itch, a way.
Survey monkey is just an administrator.
I
It's a tool to.
I don't see that, I don't see the need for it. We have it in the need blast, that's more than enough. Start.
Wow.
And somebody in GVR administration needs to keep their eye on that particular link. Right, and then who decides when it leaves? Who decides when that leaves?
Here's my concern.
Who decides? So you may.
Well, if you have a storage capacity problem, that's when you'd have to decide how long.
It's not a storage.
But it's not a storage thing. It's a cloud. It's a relevance.
Yeah.
I mean, is the guest pass policy survey, now that we have made a guest pass policy, is that survey still relevant to be on the website?
Well, a future board may want to go back and look at it.
Steve, can you raise your hand in time, because
Okay.
Andy's been waiting for a while, and Linda's been waiting for a while. Andy, go
That's
ahead.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the guest pass policy survey. And I think I agree with Jody that if it's something that affects that kind of policy, and when we were working on it, we went with mostly, the staff recommendations and a way that we thought that we could help with the, fraud and that kind of thing going on. But what we didn't take into consideration was how emotional that issue was to members who were out there, because we didn't hear from them. Now, whether that's because they didn't get the e-blast or whatever, but the results of that survey, even though it was a survey monkey, should have been posted so they would know. Because they were like thrown, they didn't know where we got the data from that we used in order to make that decision. And I just think when you have something that is that emotional, like for instance, if we did a survey on to replace the South Labrador pool or not, and if it was a survey monkey, then, that's something that we have to put out there for people. I mean, I know we're not going to do that, but with that it just turned out to be such an emotional issue that I was not prepared for. I don't know if anybody else was,
From the
but I think we
membership.
just totally forgot about the membership out there and what they're used to. And I think that's why it was so difficult to try to change that so quickly.
Okay, Beth?
Well, I was just saying, the survey we put out was not what we ended up with as a policy.
You're right.
I mean, what we ended up with as a policy was all the people who came to the meeting and said, we don't like it. We put out the survey, we claimed that we made a decision based on the survey, but in fact, it wasn't the decision that people, for the most part, wanted.
It was part of the process.
And so we changed that, but, that was just my point, was that they started information. The first one on the survey, but the survey was not obviously telling us what we needed to hear.
Do we need to set it in stone here? Can we just, if we do a survey monkey and if it's kind of a non-event, we don't need to put it anywhere? If it's a big deal, like the guest pass policy, then the board can decide at a meeting, hey, we really would like this in the e-blast and or on the webpage. And do it on a case by case basis. Does it have to be set in stone that they always will be posted or they won't be posted?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, okay.
As part of the decision making process is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay. So I made it general. It's not statistically significant, but it's
Significant.
Yeah, it can work.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, that's communications, I think. Thank you all. Thank you, Natalie. Glad you graced us with your presence. Facilities Department. All right.
One add-on to 1.15, that was, I think, a carryover from the December, in that we completed the energy audit, but we said we were going to continue to implement, particularly the dark sky, focus on Abrego South, Santa Rita Springs, and the parking lots at Canoa Hills and Desert Hills. That was a carryover. So how I would word that would be to continue to make progress on compliance with the dark sky program and pick up with focus would be on Abrego South, Santa Rita Springs, and the parking lots at Canoa Hills and Desert Hills. That was from December the 2025.
Isn't that something you're already doing, though, Scott?
It is. We're gonna do that. This just,
Those were the high priorities. Or
Yeah.
just say the dark sky program and without listing the sites.
that's what, I think that'd be easier.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
I'm comfortable with
If you
that.
have
Just
yourself
wide.
specific sites, then
Energy.
Yeah,
you
I'm just,
really don't have to do anything else.
Okay.
And that would
okay,
be-
no, I'm good with that, just dark skies program.
Efficiency. And dark skies strategies.
Okay.
Where?
Go ahead, Joe.
I have a question. Why are we not including everything from the energy audit? Because there's several items here that's listed on the energy audit that are recommendations, and I don't see them here, such as unplugging in the summertime when nobody's baking at the satellite office, unplugging the refrigerators and the ovens and things like that. There's a lot of recommendations in that energy audit that I don't see here.
Budget.
But, well, also, Natalie, you did a 2-page overview of that energy audit and the things that we were continuing to do, and that was the things that you had already indicated that you were going to be researching this year. So,
As we change out a toilet, we put in a water efficient toilet, which is much more affordable than going, wholesale.
but also to the unplugging of the big refrigerators and that kind of thing that we don't use all the time.
Right.
You had spoken to those items and I'm concerned that we want to put individual little line items, specific line items in here that the staff is already doing as a result, for example, of the energy audit. Scott?
Yeah, I actually think the third bullet here does capture, it says we're looking at new technology to improve energy efficiencies, and then we say review and implementing campus-wide energy efficiency and dark skies strategies. I think that includes unplugging refrigerators or stoves or removing refrigerators or stoves, because those are strategies. And this says we would continue implementing. I don't want to get to the point where we're telling the board how many refrigerators And stoves we're unplugging unless that's something that you really think you want.
No, not necessarily. I just want to make sure that it's not being done. I mean, we paid for that energy audit. I'd like to take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest assured it is being done.
Oh, yeah.
It's retired the kitchen and the therapist as part of this because of the lack of use there. And the fact that it was just, creating an attractant for vermin, but it was a
It was.
great opportunity. Like, this is where, as opportunities arise,
Right.
we're jumping on it.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Bev, refrigerators, if you unplug refrigerators, you have a really good chance of getting mold in those refrigerators, and there's so many nooks and crannies in them, you can't ever get rid of it. And so keeping it at a different temperature that wouldn't take as much energy might be more practical, otherwise you're gonna have to replace it.
I agree.
And I know that firsthand.
And I will second that.
And I'm not sure, so if you have electric stoves, gas stoves, the only thing on them is the timer that's currently using energy at, I don't see unplugging them, this cost savings, but.
Well, it'd be a pilot light on a gas stove.
If
I
it's
don't know that we
gas,
have gas stoves.
We have
We
gas,
do have gas.
Yeah, we did
Okay.
West Center.
then that would be different, yeah.
Nellie?
The 1.2.3, where it says researching vending machines,
You're down here.
I had a different one from our December financial plan that we had looked at. There wasn't any vending machine issue. It was research and develop recommendations for food and beverage in certain certain centers. And without talking about the vending machine thing. And if we open it up, the question as far as options, there was a whole question on West Center, which has come up in the narrative on the Del Sol Cafe about changing that.
Right.
So
Seems like the one
This
that we
one-
had here was better than. This one doesn't.
this one is like researching vending option and peak season. According to our December progress report, we tried that free coffee on weekdays at Desert Hills during the winter season. We found there was little interest over the summer. And I thought it was going away. I think that was an old one. I think we've done it.
Mhm.
I think we've tried it and done it.
Oh,
So I moved it off.
And we haven't tried vending machines in a while.
On this one.
No, but
I'm
Yeah.
not aware of ever doing vending.
Well, there
Well,
was
that's not
a
1 point.
discussion because of Del Sol, but the letters that we have been
They
receiving
don't want it.
don't want vending machines. I would not ever
It's not
take
there.
anything out of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Scott?
Well, I think this also includes other centers, so we could just clarify and maybe get rid of peak and low season here.
Why did it get put in? Because it wasn't in this original version.
I don't know where it came.
That first bullet point wasn't designed.
No, it's probably,
that's
yeah, I
correct.
think it's because we've amended some things and changed some things as they've come up, but
You could still get rid of it.
It's a new day.
And you out of it.
Is the objection about vending machines at Double Soul or vending machines period?
that's the question. I don't think we're having the discussion on the Del Sol. That's the
No,
next
Just
topic. This one's about vending machines at East Center, for example.
Right.
That might be appreciated.
Water, Gatorade, snacks. I mean, I think that's something that we should do.
As a test in a couple of sites.
This is deep.
Sorry?
I'm shut up.
No.
No, I don't think we're against it. I think we're
Yeah.
just.
Want to know more?
Over, yeah.
This is just deeply operational.
Yeah, we think this is operational. If we're gonna install vending machines, I don't know if,
Right.
I mean, if the board wants to weigh in on vending machines, we will do it,
I
but
think it's the only place that.
The initiative says to explore food and bev.
My son.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go do that, and that includes, I think, researching the possibility of.
it does. This is the initiative, develop providing food and bev in the centers. And then here are some bullets to help us support that initiative. Yeah.
Go forward.
Go for it.
With the bullet on, with the last bullet, with board considering expanding food and beverage services at Desert or Del
Also
Sol
Clubhouse.
and other centers. My question on my other centers, I would cross off for purposes of our 2026 plan. Because I think our focus should be looking at doing Del Sol and not looking at food and beverage services at other centers. And my question is on West Center, because it's come up that it was being looked at to change West Center into a catering type of service kitchen and are going for a change of a license, is how I understood it.
That's already.
Yeah, and so that is a huge change.
Okay, but I don't know that I understood that as something we were actually gonna look at. Unless, of course, it was prior to us deciding to move, our membership services into the lobby here.
No, this is totally different. This is,
It was talked about, I can't remember.
I think this is a carryover from plans before. And so we were exploring our Del Sol and other centers. Well, we made the decision on Del Sol, where we chose the vendor last year. Now it's come up with regard to changing the area of the West Center into a catering type kitchen, of which the full service manager is going to be overseeing the preparation of food for certain events. That is a totally different operations than we have now. And
I don't heard it, that's all.
I don't either.
well,
It's in this,
it's in the
Scott,
plan.
further.
Yeah.
Let's go and answer that.
I don't think that's what this says. We're already providing food and beverage services at West Center during events and activities and performances. We sell food, we have a bar. So that's happening.
But we're not, I'm talking about expanding, not what we're currently doing, because I understand currently we cater out for food. We do, the food and beverage. We don't with staff prepare food at that kitchen and going for a separate license.
Yeah, I think that is beyond what this says, but can I have Natalie weigh in on that?
I think that the original reason we started looking into that license was because we had members requesting cooking classes.
Right.
And the Italian club was had great success. They were just selling out their classes, and now we have several instructors, and they can't cook in the kitchen. They have to bring everything pre-prepared and basically walk you through it and plate it. So that was the original initiative.
And that's
for
programming.
upgrading license, and that's programming.
Yeah.
It's all deeply operated.
That's not about providing food and beverage services to the general public or the membership.
So I just want to be
So it's
clear, when we look
program.
at West Center, that it is not an expanded license for us to be catering food out of West Center.
I wouldn't.
I don't think it's catering.
No, it's okay to question it. I just didn't-
Where's that coming from?
It is it's in the business plan of Del Sol.
It is in business plan of Del Sol.
Well, it does say use it as a place to possibly sell muffins and coffee someday.
No, prepare.
But I think that would be a discussion about the business center of Del Sol. That's not this.
But I just don't, I just want to be clear that expanding,
But if we decide to do this plan that they're talking about, as you said, then it would be expanding it. Why?
And I don't think it's preparing it, be like putting together like sandwiches, and that's not making the food from scratch.
Well,
Hang
question.
on, guys, Lanny has his.
I think Natalie, you clarified exactly what maybe the misunderstanding was. About what was happening at West Center clubs. So I think going any further than that, we're really digging into the operations of business. I don't think we need to be spending any time.
Can we take out other centers?
What?
Can we take out other centers?
But that's
Because we aren't
operational.
expanding.
But that's operational.
Yeah, but why? So you're going to make a policy decision today that says we will not provide food or beverage services at any other centers other than the Del Sol Club.
It just says consider expanding. We already do the food and beverage at West. We aren't preparing any food. We're offering prepackaged food. So are we gonna expand?
Why are we even interested? I mean, that's an operational thing.
It's
Just
a
as a
licensure and a
consider.
budget issue is what it is. The way that it's worded, the way that we have it worded, if you're looking at an open ed and expanding, it's a budget. It's not in the budget. And it's also liability insurance when you open up the license. It's a policy question of whether you're gonna expand and, I mean, we're dealing with Del Sol, we're having a hard
No,
time
we're
dealing
not
with
talking about
Del
this, we're talking about wasn't.
West Center moving into the catering business.
Mm-mm, we're not.
What it was.
No, we're not talking about doing that.
Then let's clarify that
That
it's
just said
not,
what it
doesn't
was we're doing, so.
Offering, you gotta define what offering food is. They're looking at, they're doing chips, they're doing, cheese, they're doing these charcuterie and potentially just reheating hamburgers that's making revenue for us. Why would we limit that?
because you have a licensure and a liability issue.
We
And a
have,
standing
if that's the operation, if the operation
Not
can
saying
handle that, that's done at Scott's level.
Why don't we take out the word expanding?
What? Okay. Or not.
Where is that?
We don't want to
I
expand.
mean, this year, we're not going to expand.
This is 2026, right? We're talking
Yeah.
2026,
Yeah.
not way into the
I think
future.
that's be careful, we're not getting too deep into the operations of folks.
It's just as to consider,
That's-
that's what
that's
we're
correct.
doing, so there's nothing wrong with considering.
So I'm questioning if this should even be on here, honestly. I mean, it says with board, and the board discussion was really more relevant to how do you want to move forward with the Del Sol Clubhouse?
Right.
But I don't know that we need to have a discussion unless you all disagree that you want to weigh in on whether we should sell food and beverages and smoothies and a muffin. I'm just thinking hypothetically at East Center or at West Center or at Las Campanas at some point. Is that something the board wants to weigh in on?
No,
No,
Great, then let's get rid of
other than the different types of muffins that you make.
this.
Yeah,
I don't want anything with white bleached flour.
That's right. Gluten free. Let's take other centers out there. Works.
And you know,
so are we taking that line out, Scott?
I think we're just going to take this out and
That's all.
this doesn't,
Just leave it at
this doesn't mean that we couldn't consider operationally expanding some type of food and beverage services at other centers.
Okay,
We're not talking about a catering kitchen here.
okay.
Okay.
but even if we.
I'm comfortable, Scott, with, if you say we're not doing the catering kitchen.
what's a catering
Is
kitchen?
that when you make it in there?
That's what we're
All
hearing.
of our kitchens are catering.
Yeah, we've got those. We're just not licensed properly.
Sell it in our other restaurant. We're not doing a kitchen.
That's exactly right.
All of our kitchens are
catering
catering clubs.
They are catering
Yeah,
kitchens.
so if they plan to offer hamburgers and heat it up, that's not.
For this, it's that's Del Sol.
Right.
I believe that is. I don't think that's
Not
us.
That's not
That was a possibility.
Hamburgers, can we keep on going?
It could be.
Scott,
Yes, ma'am.
keep on going.
Oh, all right.
Where were we?
Yeah, we are still on facilities.
Page 3, and it's been an hour and 6 minutes.
I know.
But we're making progress.
Yes, we are. This is fair.
This is the new results.
Those are important.
The last bullet is relevant to the question on surveying, and you can see per the results of the member poll, these are the things we're planning to do. Anything else with facilities? I mean, of course, there's a lot of operational things, but these are higher level that support the strategic plan. Finance. Evaluate maintenance, repair, and replacement. I added this first bullet here recently because we've had to go back to Browning a couple times. They haven't updated some of our ratios properly, and I want to make sure we do that before we distribute these things. So that's why I added this bullet.
Oh, so
And I
you were saying stop doing it because it makes it sound like you want, to me, this reads like, do we need the MR&R funds?
Oh.
The word to confirm need, is that what you're asking about?
Evaluate.
I'm often wondering what that means.
You know, this is probably just
So.
old language that
The
needs to
original
be,
language from the strategic plan.
updated. How about continue utilizing?
There you go.
I mean,
But
because
then
that's,
changing the-
Well,
the-
you're changing.
Why don't you
You
just
change
say
it to
evaluate?
oh, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I can't change that, can I? Good
Don't say
point.
evaluate MRNR, say evaluate Browning's report to
How about reserve
confirm
studies?
accuracy maybe.
Uh-huh.
We can't.
I know, but you can't
Yeah.
change the strategic, you're changing the
I-
goals of the strategic plan, which is in here. So
I got it.
you can confirm it underneath as a bullet point.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Very good.
I'd like to clarify, when this plan was put together, we just had the mRNA fund. And since then, we have created the B. And so it gets confusing here, but we're only applying to one. So I'd like to add, confirm all numbers and data for the mRNA A and B are accurate prior to distribution.
So just add it.
Yeah, it's just clarifying that it picks up B.
But
Right.
Browning doesn't do the pools, right?
No, but the staff report, we have a staff report that basically is our model for our pools.
Okay.
Or whoever, does that, and that's our resource.
Could have it as an addendum,
That's just what.
what you're saying in that RB.
Well, it just, clarifies mRNR is an A and a B. No, it wasn't when the plan was first developed.
Yeah. How's that?
And you go with the F in front of the O, R.
Data or both.
You just got it on the,
Oh.
it's great.
You can't because it changes.
Great.
The strategic plan.
All right, we've got continuing education. Quarterly financial updates to the board. That's what the finance department does, which is great.
Yep.
Provides an annual primer on reading financial statements. That has to happen for the new board for April. Review the Fund Easy purchase order system and other third-party systems and implement as necessary. I would change this.
Okay, I think that one was, according to our update, that was done. The update says the Fund Easy PO system was found not to be adequate for GVR needs. Other systems are currently being reviewed. So do we want to just suggest, and actually it says a budgeting a project cost system has not been identified, but will be researched in 2026. So we're researching a budget and project cost system.
Well,
So that-
this, I think, is just budget, but not necessarily project.
And I'm just saying what the December updates.
I understand. Okay. Then I can take that language and add that on here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll highlight this. And say, see December. Thank you. Okay. All right, we can borrow that language. Okay, we've got annual financial forecasting. And here we have what we just said up above, which is maintain and continue utilizing the reserve study. Anything else with finance? Okay. I know we've talked about the second one here, 3.2.2 or 3.2.1 quite a bit.
Yeah.
And what we've said here is if the board wants to expand this, then we'll probably need to schedule a deeper discussion work session on what that means, what that entails. We have volunteers now, mostly for arts and entertainment. All of our clubs are volunteers, all those boards, and they help us a ton. So if the board is interested in expanding beyond what we're doing, it would be helpful to know why and where and how.
I'd like to leave that in. I do think there's opportunities, particularly in looking at how we're using volunteers as ambassadors, welcoming new members, following up with tenants and, thanking them for staying here. There's helping with the March show. just how do we, how can we leverage them to be proactive and help us in those activities? It's like helping with the showcase. So I'm not saying specifying that now, but I think
Sure.
a work session would be valuable.
Okay. IT, this has been an ongoing item, obviously, because it's part of the strategic plan. Employ newer technologies to benefit members' abilities. And the bullet we have is simplify member experiences while using GVR rooms, AV equipment, providing GVR laptops at each center. This has been ongoing.
Yeah.
We've done this as needed. And as technology changes, as demand changes, as interests change, we spent quite a bit of time with Desert Hills and the Camera Club this last year, trying to make sure that that system is adequate for them.
What about the laptops? What is the role of the laptops?
This is a laptop at each center for presentations generally. We have found that some people would bring in their own laptop and it wouldn't be compatible with our system. And then they would blame the system. And so, we talked it through and said, if we're using our own equipment, people can just bring in a flash drive or something.
Sounds like that would be hard on the equipment.
It is hard on the equipment, but I know it's a lot harder on staff trying to troubleshoot and get somebody's equipment to talk to our equipment when sometimes they just don't talk. So it's strange, but I mean, laptops are a lot more affordable. So we're not getting the top end here, but just enough, for a presentation.
Okay, good.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to say, but here we've got redundancy here with Desert Hills as a primary server database and file failover location. Member services. Most of these are ongoing. The third bullet under the first initiative, partner with communications to create a new member welcome packet for July. And then to create a realtor information sheet in October.
And I think that October date, my understanding is that we had a draft last October and it was being evaluated. So are we looking at the distribution of that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the follow-up from the
Create.
December report.
And develop.
I think it's quite important
Or I'm sorry,
to,
create and distribute. That's the word you
Distribute,
used.
yeah.
I mean, there's always been a communication with realtors, but I really think
I think
get
that she
them
would be
on our
fine.
side as much as possible.
Okay. All right, and then this says, of course, we're investigating possible alternatives to our current membership database to combine databases, add capabilities, improve the overall experience. And we put out an RFI. We're expecting some interest from that, and we'll be evaluating that and then coming to the board with any budget implications and recommendations. Anything else in member services?
My only question, Scott, would be in your development of that, bringing it to the board. That would be for 2027, is that correct? Because
It would be for the 27 budget, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, Recreation Department. All right. Assess and improve fitness center functionality. The first bullet, we do have plans to expand Las Campanas Fitness Center into the Cypress Room. That project is moving forward. This was budgeted. And we're moving forward with that. Not an expensive budget item.
It's needed.
It's needed. Las Campanas is our second busiest facility.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, a lot of this is ongoing. The nice thing on some level about having your 5-year plan, a lot of our items were front loaded. And so we checked off a lot of boxes at the beginning of this 5-year plan. We're now in the home stretch. So a lot has been accomplished.
It's on this, is this 3.1.4 or?
Yeah, I can pull that up. I mean, I don't have 1.4.
There's no.
There is no point for it.
3.13?
Yeah.
3.1.3.
Original.
Okay, so on the 25 work plan, it had develop or prioritize 5-year plan for program and activities.
That's, oh yeah, 3.1.4, yes.
And then the progress on my page went on. But I mean, so we developed it, and I think it would, I'm not, maybe it'd be good to have a review of that, because we've done a lot of different programming. I think it's excellent going out, but an overview of what that prioritized plan is, because I'm assuming is it done?
I don't, help me, which plan are you talking
It's in the
about?
strategic plan, 3.1.4, develop a prioritized 5-year plan, program and events. Due date was 2024.
We have that. That's been done.
That was done in 2024.
That's been completed in I think we moved it to 25, but it was completed in 25.
Okay.
And so it's not on the 26 plan.
Do you recall seeing it?
Oh, I just can't remember.
Right
Okay,
here.
well,
Yeah,
we
20
can look at the
20.
overview. We need an overview later on.
You did some.
I know there was
Yeah,
a lot of.
It was
work done on
completed, so it didn't move over.
Yeah, okay, got it, okay.
Mission
I just can't remember.
accomplished.
Mission accomplished, good. No, I think it's great. I think
You know, when it's completed, it's completed.
Correct.
got it. It's off the chart. All right.
That's good.
Okay, anything else with recreation? Anything else with the annual work plan?
I just want to,
Okay,
Lanny, I saw you hand first.
no, I just want to say the whole strategic plan and having a work plan is really a good, it's a good idea, because it really helps us go into the year, not just for, I think, for operations, but for us as a board. So that process, and we're going to be going into a new one, so maybe we've learned some things from this last 5-year process, but having that strategic plan and process where you can point to it and having an annual plan has really helped us stay on course. So I want to congratulate staff on that.
agreed. Yes, thank you. I think it's very helpful. Keeps your eye on the prize.
Nellie took the words right out.
And
Congratulations,
recreation, I
well
just
done.
want to say whoever is in charge, I think it's Nick, of getting new events.
Events,
and stuff.
yeah.
He's doing a great
Yeah,
job.
it's really.
Good,
The concert
good.
last night was really fun.
Well, his supervisor's here, so we'll pass that on.
Yeah.
He scared me though at the beginning when he
Uh-oh.
said something like, I hope you all get up and dance. And I'm like, oh no, and he's heard the story and and I thought he was kidding. And then, but later in the evening, and he wanted us all to sing along, and a lot of people did. But then later in the evening, there had to be 20, 30 people standing up dancing.
Good.
99% women, but they were standing up dancing.
Of course.
Dating themselves.
Wonderful.
And it was right at the end of the event.
Okay.
It was wonderful.
As long as people are behaving, we encourage
Yeah.
dancing.
We were really fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so we will bring this, we'll bring this updated plan to the board next week for approval.
I approve similar.
Is Bart still on?
I'm not gonna be here. I know.
Sold out. Everything.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, Bart's here. Hey, Bart, Bart's here.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Nice job.
Scott's gonna bring it to us
Thank you.
next week for approval, and then we'll move on to the next item, which is,
I would like to say one more thing
Sure.
since staff is here, right? I also echo Nellie was saying, it is Scott's work plan, but it's really GVR work plan. And to the department heads, thank you very much
Yeah.
for leading the charge and all the great work that you do. Staff, I know appreciate it. We certainly appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you accomplished a lot.
yes, you did.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job.
It's a great team. We have a wonderful.
It is.
Until we get rid of the board, things will be great.
That's all right. Okay, so the next item on the agenda will be discussion on the payment plan for the voluntary deed restrictions. Nellie, that's yours?
Sure, it's on page 6 of your meeting book. I have a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to summarize it and how this kind of came about. So, in the past year through FAC, we've been looking at the financial model, the home sales models, and we basically all appreciate and have talked about the fact that we heavily rely on membership dues and sales of homes, which have been going down, kind of ticked back up again in our 2025 estimates, but they're lower than expected. So we're not able to really look at that as a strong new generating or expanding revenue source. So the past year, the FAC basically undertook an initiative. Staff originated it. It was part of the work plan to look at revenue diversification. We came up with 18 different items. We considered those during our discussions. Some we implemented in our budget. So, we looked at the capital revenue fee, and we did not implement that. And that was a big ticket item from a savings standpoint. One of the other ideas was to take a look at voluntary deeded properties, how we can encourage these members to join. So what this is basically is a background paper of what the voluntary deeded properties are, how they came in. So it was looked at as a revenue generator source to permanently get these homes into GVR, also benefit by expanded membership. So in the background justification, you can see the history of GVR, of how we came about, and we inherited when these facilities in 1962 were formed. GVR wasn't formed until 1979, so therefore it became optional for people to join GVR. So you have a map that shows that how many voluntary deeded properties that we have. So of the 130 homeowner organizations, there are 44 that are not automatic membership in GVR. And I'm going to look at this map. You got it in your folder too. But if you look at this map, you got it in your folder so you can see. So these are your old communities prior to 1979. So these are voluntary deeded. They're the Abregos, they're the Abillas East and West. And so we have 44 communities. You have 6,000 households that are in the voluntary deeded. In these voluntary deeded, 3,600 have currently joined. So the question is can you create an incentive plan by helping? They have to pay the installment, the capital fee of $3,100 upfront, plus the transfer fee of $475. So if we offer them an opportunity to pay that over 5 years, we get the deed to the property. So at the time that it sells, and my understanding, our properties turn over about every 7 years. Basically, we get those properties in GVR on a permanent basis. In 2015, we also expanded, I think it was 2015 or 16, we expanded our boundaries. And so these are voluntary deeded, non-age restricted. So these mainly are more family oriented. And so our focus, when we look at it, our focus has really been on the senior age-related restricted in the red area. So does everybody understand voluntary? Okay, so when you look at the data, we have an opportunity to market to 2,700 households that are remaining. And we tried different things. We tried a direct marketing to them, I think 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago. And now membership is doing a really good strategy of contacting those that turn over for immediate sales. So we've been able to get about 10 or we're up to 12, David help me, 15 above. I think it's 15 a year that's coming in through that source. but there's still a lot that are out there that are not aware, or may not be aware, and would helping create an installment type of plan on the fee be useful. So we looked at doing additional outreach. We also had the consideration of just waiving it, do a 90-day waiver of the fee. So you would waive 2,700 households to get in, get 3,100. That's a $8.4 million benefit when they turn over. The membership fees on that would be $590,000. We did not go with that. That would create a heart attack with Chris. That one had legal issues. We said, it's not fair to the people who had done it before, but it was raised. Tried to just lock in the entities. Where we ended up was to look at considering the installment plan on those areas, trying to make it as administratively as easy as possible. Charging also a small fee for doing the credit check and setting it up. We do an installment type of plan now on our membership fees, where we collect the membership fees via automatic banking. And so we could set that same system up. From a collection standpoint, I would suggest that we look at, if we were to do this, you make a change and consider it a major violation if they didn't pay on time. And that basically would suspend their membership. And so you're trying to make it administratively as easy as possible, easy on the enforcement side. But when you look at, if you were to do 1% a year over 5 years, the benefit is substantial, maybe not for the first year, but the benefit grows. So when we are being challenged financially to find revenue sources, I think it's wise to consider the alternatives. And so what the finance committee voted on was to bring this forward to say, is it something you want us to consider operationally? And that's why it's here.
Beth?
What are the downsides to this giving people, basically giving them a mortgage, for the time or a payment plan? What are the downsides of that for the staff or for, in general?
That would mean we would have to work on the liens for the properties. We would have to become additional collections agents. We would have, there's a lot. We're not in the loan business or that kind of business. I just think that would create a lot of challenges for us to have to implement something like this and then keep track of them, ensure that they're paying, it's just and 5 years is most people, not most, but a good number of houses sell in 5 years. And then we would have a hard time potentially getting our money back. It's a slippery slope.
But you could put a little on the property.
And we could put a lien on the property, but that doesn't always.
And banks refused to do this, right?
Banks
This is
did
too
refuse
small.
to do this.
So the volume is too small. So we're talking 27 sales a year.
Mhm.
And if the 3 years or the 5 years is a problem, then looking at it, let's do it 3 years and push it to see if it's viable or not.
So we did the mailing to several people, and I thought be catching up. We did the mailing to most of the homes. We had zero response.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people come in, we had one today, we had one yesterday.
Yeah.
They just whip out their checkbooks and they pay. From what we hear from members, it's not these members. It's not that it's a money issue. They don't want it. Like my mom lives in a non-GVR house. She does not want it. And for some people, it is a sales mechanism and they post it on, it doesn't have GVR.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing for the most part is the people that don't have it, that have had 30, 40 years, 50 years to put it on there, haven't because they don't want it.
Yeah.
But it was my husband. Hang on, guys, one at a time, please. Nellie, I have an issue with, we're giving it, from what I see here, it's being offered at interest-free. It's not, calculating for the cost of a lien. It's not, calculating for the cost of, a payoff recording at the end, or for what it would cost staff to go after these people if they do not keep up their payments. I have issues with all those things, and I think all of those things come as a part of being a banking institution, which, like you say, the banking institution doesn't do that.
I don't know what I hit.
It's bad enough listening to me without it echoing.
I'm just waiting for Steve Tyler to start singing Slow Motion or something.
Oh, there you go. So to me, it's a lot more than just offering it to that, because then what do you do? For example, we get somebody that buys, let's say they come in and they buy my home. And let's say they talk to their realtor. I don't know that they would talk to me, but they talk to their realtor about, I understand you have a banking option for the member change fee, and I would like to take advantage of that for 5 years. Because you will have those people, there are always people out there wanting to find a different way to do things to their advantage. And that would be something I would bet would come up. How would you deal with that, as well as the banking issues where we really don't have the staff to do that? Plus, I really object to giving it to them without the fees being charged.
No, I would.
The file fees,
Absolutely.
the interest, all of that. But then again, that's all part of the banking issue.
I think I guess I would say, if you were to proceed with that, one, it gets us into the HOA. There are a couple of points. Let me go to Chris first. There are HOAs out there that don't want you to belong to GVR because they have their own pools, like Esperanza, and so there are other HOA. And so what you're looking at is going after those that don't have the pools, don't have the high maintenance fees, because they don't want you to join. But on the issue of the admin costs, there would be the fee. So what we're doing is saying we have a mechanism. We're going out to the HOAs and you prioritize or selective of the ones that don't have, like I said, their pools. And you basically say, we have this available to you if you want to, and here are all the amenities for GVR. There are people who don't know about GVR, from my understanding. So here are all the amenities. And if you want to come in and look at it, it's going to cost you, you can get the installment plan, but it's also going to cost you an admin fee to do it. So you're getting into the HOAs as an education point, giving it an option. And some people will say, I'm just going to write a check. And the other people will say, I want to take advantage of the plan. So you're not talking about a great deal of administrative work. We already do an installment plan with our membership dues. And we do that, and we require them to do automatic payment each month out of their checking accounts. So.
I've talked to people, like you said, whose HOA are totally against GVR. Like, I was really shocked that this one person joined GVR from that. I don't know which one it was, which HOA it was. And she was like ostracized. And I was sort of shocked because I had not heard this. But I also think if we're looking at the villas, for example, the villas, cost $378 a month. HOA fee.
410 this year.
Yeah, 410 for west and 378 for east. Really? Probably going up. So $400 a month they're paying already for their HOA fee, which went up considerably in the last few years. I think it would be a hard sell for those people who are already, paying that kind of money, in terms of, their monthly expenses. Plus, we're adding it's 3,000 plus 500 a year. That's why the installment. I think that would be a hard sell for that group of people. They do have two pools. I don't know, never seen anybody in one, but anyway.
I don't even know where they are.
Huh?
I know where the villas are, but I didn't know where the pools were.
Yeah.
They have
Deep inside. Yeah, they're
Holy
there.
smokes.
But,
I paid $7.25 for the whole year, and I know mine's high for most of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what Chris was saying, it seems to me that money is not the only, that money is not as much of an issue as maybe we think it is, that there are other issues with people not wanting to be members. I don't understand it, but I think they're out there.
Well, we did 2 years ago, we sent out a recruiting email. I think Chris was in charge of that, to all of those homes, and we did not get one interest.
So when you come out with a new product, you've got to do it multiple times versus just one time. And I think a mass mailing, not the most effective way, better. And so Chris is doing another option, which is good. But I also think going to the HOAs is a good idea, to tell them that we've got this option, that option, we give a 2-day pass. I'm just look at we're doing this as a revenue enhancement. And you're looking at bringing in initially 34,000, over 5 years, $86,000 on a permanent basis on membership dues. And then you're looking at bringing every time the 113 houses go over, it's $500,000 to GVR. So we don't have many revenue sources to look at. And this is one that's out there. Our member dues are going up. Our MR&R reserve funds are going up 7%. So if we look at going into the future, it's an opportunity. There are other things on that. When we looked at the 18 items for opportunities, going after the clubs for space and that, we said, we can't do that. We can't do this. Well, there are things that we can do that may be a little bit administrative, doesn't hurt our club people from paying extra fees. So this is just this one, and to not consider it, and I appreciate the fact that we are considering it, but to give it some thought. It's money on the table.
So, yeah, no, I'm considering it. Chris's
Yeah.
points, I think we should listen to those quite seriously, because it is, at the end of the day, will be staff administration that has to administer any kind of program that we put in place.
Yeah.
But I'd like an answer to Kathy's point. I'm brand new. I come to GVR.
Yep.
Why can't I have that program?
Because you're in a deeded property. And when
Oh, wait a minute now. I'm just being that PRIC that's in front of Chris right now saying, I want that program.
Okay then?
And Chris is going to have to end up providing that program to that person, and we could end up with hundreds of people or nobody on this program. The minute we start changing our,
But those are,
the price of entrance, the minute we start changing that for one group, we have to change it for everyone now. We can't just change it because somebody lives in a red area and I live in a green area. That's unfair. And I will, if anything, okay, fine, then, like, I will fight. And the realtors will fight to have this payment program.
Right.
Absolutely.
It would be easier for them.
Because it'd be easy for them to sell. You don't have to do the $4,000 up front. You can do it over a period of 5 years.
So Lanny,
Everything always looks good on paper until you go to implement.
so Lanny, to your point, this transaction happens down at the title company when the house closes.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's not offered on a payment plan. It's only offered on a payment plan when it comes as a conversion. Now, I remember we did spend a lot of money on marketing, and that concerns me that we didn't get any new members. Do we have the data, Chris, on what percentage of the non-GVR properties, when they're sold, actually come into GVR?
I can probably get
Because
that.
that would be very interesting to know if it's 50%, 10%, 5%.
Yeah.
Because I know that,
Minimal, we only got 12 in the past year, I mean, that's
and
peanuts.
there were 900 homes sold.
Right.
no, this is
Those are
non-GVR properties.
Non-GVR.
That's what he's saying, is that 12
Right,
elected to
Right,
come.
I would like to know
last year out
that
of
data,
900.
that would be interesting to
He just
know.
told you.
No, we didn't, that wasn't.
They received 12 people from non-deeded people who wanted to go with GVR out of the 900,
No.
close to 900.
That's
Can't
not
use
what I'm
that,
asking.
that's deeded properties.
Those are
This is
deeded
non-deeded
properties.
properties.
That's what I'm talking
No,
about.
no, no,
They
no.
put non-deeded property on the report that comes out every month.
Right, but the end we're looking for is how many non-deeded properties sold. We don't have that number. We have the properties.
So we had
How would you
six,
get that number without a massive amount of time?
Yeah.
Oh, we can get
Yeah.
from
The realtor.
the demands that we receive, I can pull that data. If there are demands that we don't receive or someone sells it some other way, we don't have that data.
Right.
So the demands that we, at least for the last few months, that we have been sending out the information,
Yeah.
where if it's a non-GVR home, we're sending them a letter to say, welcome to the neighborhood. You know, did you know about GVR? Come and get a 2-day guest pass, check us out. We're doing that to non-GVR properties that are VDR eligible. So we're currently doing that.
Okay.
That number I can get for you guys.
okay, one more comment, I'll be done. I think that there will always be a subset of non-members who want to be outside of GVR. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, and the people that have been outside of GVR in these HOAs, as they age, they're not going to be wanting to come back in GVR. The time when that property is available is when it's sold. And that's when I think we should put our emphasis in marketing and offering these guest passes and trying to
That's
get
what
these
Chris
people.
is doing.
Right. So
She's
I agree with
doing
that. I agree with that. Thank you.
Okay, Jody.
I kind of lost my thought. I know what I want to say. The point is, you guys have to understand, if these homes haven't wanted to come into GVR, offering this payment plan is going to change very few. I bet we barely get 1 or 2% out of all those homes. I really do. Because if they wanted to come in, they're going to come in.
That's what the performa is based on, 1%. You get $500,000 on 1%.
Yeah, but then you're opening up a can of worms of, you guys offered it to them and now everybody else is gonna want it and it's going to be more time, employee use, resource use, that it's not even gonna be worth it.
Okay,
So just, throw this out, I mean, I agree, it doesn't hurt to make some attempt to go back and talk to people in HOAs that don't currently belong. And you had the thing about a time limited, maybe there could be a time limited, like we would offer a payment plan if in the next 3 months.
That's still unfair to everybody else.
Well, of course it's unfair, but that's how sales are.
so let me,
This car is now 20% off last week when you bought
We're not a
it.
sales organization.
so let me,
Okay,
We're not a banking organization.
all right, I withdraw my comment.
so I'm sensing the tilt of the group on this option. So let me suggest an alternative. And that's that we look at doing outreach to the HOAs to see if they would be interested in having us come. Do you do presentations to them right now? Do you go to-
HOAs? No. Why the HOA? I'm sorry.
Because the HOAs have the mailing list. And I'm in my HOA, if we want to have a speaker come in, they've got control of the mailing list and can mail out to everybody that GVR is coming in to do a presentation on
For something.
GVR. And we would be able to go to their annual meeting, but they get a flyer where you can say, I'm going to offer everybody the 2-day pass. I don't know if you have all their names. The HOA has the names.
But
That's
the
what you-
HOAs are not gonna mail out something that if somebody's coming in unless you just attend a meeting. Because my HOA couldn't afford to do out mailings.
Well, you approach them and some may and some may and some may not. Our,
But your HOA is already 100% GVR.
Well, I understand, but still, it's an HOA. I mean, it just, that's money that HOAs don't have is to do it, to mail out.
you know, it's an email, it's an email, it's an email invite.
Yep.
And it's a marketing, it's an outreach effort. What do we have to lose? You have nothing to lose by, you, do a volunteer ambassador to do this, and I'll volunteer to do this.
Steve?
Okay,
Is there any way we could like target
yes,
one or two of these HOAs
absolutely.
as a test market and see what the interest is, if there's a problem with the payment,
You would target based on the data and attachment to, you know, who has, where your opportunity is, and I would further select, you know, who doesn't have the pools and the, you know, the tennis courts.
Yeah, I
So
could,
you're
I could
looking at-
support something like that.
You know, I appreciate the work Nellie and FAC that you guys have done on this. I think it's, as always, well done and valuable. My only concern is that in the work plan, there is a note already, a bullet about doing outreach and so on and so forth. I'm a bit concerned that maybe we as a committee or as a board, we're getting out of our lane here. Like, our lane is policy. And we're starting to veer very, very much into the operational lane. And I'm, you know, it's very nice. Again, I'm not criticizing the work. I think the work is great. I think these are really good ideas. But operations already has a work plan. We've reviewed that work plan. We like the work plan. It's going to be presented to the board. But now we're throwing on, here's more to-dos to administration, and that, I don't know if that's our role as a board, is to be veering into the operational lane, and I feel this is very, very operational.
I actually had it as an amendment to the work plan, but I wanted to wait until I got to this.
But anyway, I'm just.
But I appreciate.
We gotta be careful.
Well, if
Cross that.
there's not-
Sorry, Beth.
If there's not support for that, I'll withdraw.
We've already found out that the mass mailing doesn't work. I am opposed to a payment plan for all the reasons that Chris stated. But we've already got a plan to do information sheets for realtors. A simplified version of this is what GVR has to offer, and here's 2 tickets to anybody that wants to try. Can be given to the realtors. That can be part of the additional for the realtor packet. I mean, not give them the tickets, but if your person's interested, have them, if they're in those areas, have them come and see us about a ticket for 2 days. So that you don't need to spend more money on it.
Okay, I have a comment. And I've said this so many times, but I mean, we are the ambassadors of GVR. And every member is an ambassador of GVR. So anytime we respond to our members in a positive way and start talking about everything that we can offer, and then when we go to church, when we go to other community things that we do, and just, we represent GVR. I mean, I see it that way. I'm very careful what I say. I certainly don't post anything on Facebook or any kind of negative thing at all. Because we want to like sell GVR because it is a good thing. I think we all know that. And we just have to let other people know that, it doesn't cost anything.
I have sold 3 houses, actually. 3 people I know because of how I describe GVR. Are now
I'll give you
GVR
$20.
And no
Lindy, and did you carry the note on that $200?
in all honesty, that's it.
Word of mouth.
It's the word of mouth. If there were like a referral program, that would probably be a better solution. At least versus like an installment plan. I think it would go much further with that.
No, I know, dinner,
You can have lunch at the volunteer luncheon, how's that?
That's right, we'll give you next week's.
That's
Okay.
We're not doing it. Are we saying that we don't want to reach out to, GVR, I mean, members, people who live in Green Valley who are not GVR members? That, other than the way it's already happening, which is basically to new owners, are we saying we don't want to reach out at all and try to find those people who live here and don't belong? We're saying we don't want to put any energy in that.
Other than what Chris is already doing.
What Chris is doing.
To those people.
And the showcase, absolutely. And the showcase, and then if there is a real estate person that comes in, they are more than welcome to get a pass. We even have people that are just, oh, I'm driving through, or we're here checking, there, we give them a pass, like, it's, we want them.
Right, no, I'm sure you're doing it, I mean, you're doing great work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, do we want to say, no, we're not putting any more energy beyond what's already being done to reach these people?
in Bitcoin.
But we already did a mass mailing and it didn't work. Zero spots.
And a dog.
Thank you. I would say this is, what the discussion you just had is a policy discussion, but if there are operational reasons to do something additionally, to come at it from a different strategy, I think operationally, our membership department and our communications department will work together anyway to do something if it makes sense to do it.
Okay.
But the discussion today was about a policy matter.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking, are we saying we're not gonna do anything?
Right. I mean,
From a policy standpoint.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we have a consensus on everybody that they want to leave it, except for what Chris is already doing and being the ambassadors that you all are. And I think we see that every day from board members and other members that describe that, so.
Right.
Okay, so I'm assuming we're gonna move on now and do the discussion
What I'm waiting on.
on the Soul House Cafe, and I'm gonna give that over to Scott as well.
Thank you. Well, hopefully you've had a chance to review the staff report. It provides the background. It provides information that the FAC Cafe Subcommittee had done research and developed a pro forma. It talks about how the board at some time in the past decided that it didn't want to go into the restaurant business and would much rather secure a vendor. And so that's the history leading up to this. There's been a lot of interest with our membership in creating social gathering spaces. In fact, that was on the work plans when I first got here. The social gathering place was going to be mostly at West Center, and then the Del Sol Clubhouse came up and it seemed like it made better sense. So as you know, we did work with a vendor previously, and it didn't work out as we had hoped that it would have. The last time we reached out to vendors, we had some interest, but at the end of the day, they decided not to move forward. We could approach those vendors again and see if they're interested. That's certainly an option. I will say, I think my reluctance, and I think I speak for staff's reluctance, is we didn't have the best experience with our last vendor in terms of maintaining our facilities, maintaining our equipment, making sure that the Pima County Health Code is followed, the Fire Marshal Code is followed. And so I don't know that I want to go down that road again. And I'm sure there are other vendors that will be better partners, trying to be very careful here, in moving forward, if that's some direction that we do want to go. I've expressed our reluctance, and put in kind of the justification section, for GVR operating the cafe. And I think the biggest thing is greater control over the cafe, hours of operation, the menu, the prices. If you own it, you control it. There's, I think, a better coordination, seamless coordination with events and activities, marketing. We've talked about how it could serve as a springboard for other options for food. This would be probably lighter options, but still, it could be a nice way to introduce that into some of the major centers, if that's something we wanted to do. And again, I don't know what that would look like, but it could serve as that. I've already talked about better maintenance of the equipment in the facilities. GVR accountability. I mean, it's ours, so we're accountable for it. We've talked about possibly obtaining a private club liquor license for that facility. This would be like the Elks or the Legion in order to serve beer, wine, and some mixed drinks. This could help offset some of the increased costs, we believe. We've received at least one comment, I think, from a member saying they really like doing the BYOB as an option. In general, I think more people would rather be able to just have some lunch and a glass of wine or a beer, and they would rather pay it instead of lugging it from their house. I don't know. That's my opinion. So that's something else to consider. And we have started serving beer and wine and mixed drinks at West Center during our events, which is great. We're not doing that with a private liquor license at this point. We're still partnering with other nonprofits because each partnership that we do, we're eligible for 10 special event permits per year. So we're starting to run out of nonprofits. And it would be much easier at some point just to pull the trigger. And I think that's what Steve and I have talked about anyway for West Center, which is to just do it at West Center at this point and maybe the Del Sol Clubhouse. Again, the challenge is BYB in those centers goes away. So we have certain clubs. If they're having an event at West Center, they would no longer be able to bring in coolers of beer. You'd have to have a cash bar. That's right. So we've been weighing that discussion, how many clubs would be affected, how many club members participate, and in that type of thing. It's easier enough to leave it alone, but we also think we're kind of leaving some money on the table. And when we're looking for revenue diversification options, this is, I think, a good one. We're not talking about opening a bar, but offering beer, wine, and some mixed drinks, in addition to some food, some food, salad, sandwiches, etc. So
At events, at specific.
well, at events, yes, but I'm going back to the clubhouse. Yeah, I'm going back to the clubhouse. I know there was concerns that we were interested in opening a bar, and that's not really what it is. Steve and I have talked more about it being more of a bistro, where we could offer some light food, coffees, beer and wine, soup, snacks, that type of thing. So again, I think we're reluctant to do the vendor option, but we can certainly explore it. I feel like we're going to have much more control over it if we do it ourselves. The startup costs for this venture, we anticipate under $10,000. And that would be for supplies, food items, licensing, permitting. And the good news is we already know in the budget where those dollars could come from. We budgeted a sizable amount in our events and activities based on what we were calling the big event for 26. And what we're seeing is that the big event is going to be downsized. So it's more like a small event now. But that's going to leave small, yes. So that frees up some dollars. And so if we wanted to buy some supplies, if this is the venture direction we wanted to go, this would be where we would pull those dollars from. And again, we want to start small and slow. with basic coffee drinks, tea, espresso drinks, pastries, bagels, simple things, and then move into sandwiches and chips and soup and salads.
Do you, are we talking West Center or?
I'm just talking Del Sol Clubhouse at this
Okay,
point.
because we
Yeah,
sort of went from West.
I'm sorry.
So.
I'm just going Del Sol Clubhouse at
Thank
this
you.
point. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. Yeah, this is really just about, do we want to do it ourselves? Do we want to seek a vendor, or do we want to install some vending machines?
No.
Okay, I'm finished with my presentation.
I have a question for you on if we were to go for a liquor license. It would be venue specific or facility specific? Or if we were to get a liquor license, would we be able to use it at both West Center and, no, yeah, you would have to have two to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just would like to say that I read this whole thing that Steve put together and I thought it was excellent. But again, it kind of sounded like it was, something that will go forward maybe in the end of 26 to 27. I'd like to see, and I think we have enough letters of interest of people to get something, as Scott said, small with specialty drinks and coffee and pastries and get people used to that and say, we're starting out small and we're going to work our way up.
Build on it, yeah.
We're going to look at it on our way up as to if we want to go bigger or not. And I would think that people would be okay with that. I think they're more concerned with having something there to start with.
Right.
I agree.
And get started with.
Nellie next.
Nellie?
I appreciate the work that it's been done as far as the vision for it. But I also share your concern that we should focus on getting the coffee shop, the bistro going.
Yeah.
Versus the entire lounge with the expansion with the liquor, because and so, but I do think there's kind of a middle ground and that is, it helps the performa on it. And that is to get the cafe going in the 5 days or the 6 days, that works. But, and keep it public, that side public. So, but when you go for the liquor license, you're going for that section of the building, which is for members only. And that does take away the ability of people to bring alcohol in. But to me, that's where the revenue source is of whether, when you have special events such as a football night or whatever, you reel out I refer to it as the wedding wagon that has the beer and the wine. You're not selling the beer and the wine in the bistro. You're selling the beer and the wine in your member only section at the special events. And that liquor revenue comes back to the bistro from a cash flow standpoint. And that's because that will help in the immediate time. So that's point one. Point two, we have to get the bistro back up, the cafe back up and running, because we're losing, we have the momentum out there with these people. And I've been there now 3 days in the morning of looking at how many people knock on the window because it's closed now, and asking what's happening to the cafe. And so marketing is so important. And so to not lose the momentum. So I think it doesn't take much to, with the $10,000, the hiring of the staff and do it 5 days a week, and then you can expand. It doesn't take much to do that. And the third point is on the control of the staffing, the control with GVR versus going out to a vendor. And I absolutely agree with Scott that because this is a unique lease, and to find a vendor that has to work with what is considered to be a confined membership
of just GVR, only a certain percent comes in from the public. And then you have to have that vendor coordinate with our events department and activities and classes. We are much more in control and have the opportunity to leverage the recreation department that was outlined in Steve's proposal, to bring in all those events if we are totally in control of it. And you're not going to get that with any of the vendors. So I am going to ask that this stay on the agenda for next week, and that the motion that I would bring it forward is that we support the GVR taking over operations of the cafe as a cafe, and proceed with getting a liquor license for the private side. And do it as soon as possible. And acknowledge that the $10,000 is available for capital. That was one of the questions. And with that, we also should have additional work should be done between now and next week on the performance to show that particular option.
Okay, I'm excited about this. I really want to talk to Scott about this. I was pushing this really hard. I think we can easily get this up and going. And even, you can buy these frozen breakfast sandwiches and heat them up and sell them. Real easy in the microwave. It's just a microwave sandwich. They can do bagels, like I said, even just to do yogurts and berries. There's so many options here that's not really preparing food that we can offer, that we can bring in people and just get it started. Absolutely. Even the lunch menu, you could buy bulk tuna fish or chicken salad and put that on a croissant and offer it with chips. It's all prepared. It's all mass prepared. It's just a matter of constructing a sandwich and selling the darn thing. And it's real easy. We are leaving money on the table, just like we were doing at the concerts. We have done great at the concerts. It's been wonderful. We're bringing in a little bit of money revenue that we weren't seeing before. And it's silly if we don't get this up and going. And tomorrow can't be quick enough. And I want to volunteer.
That's when you're not working the bar.
Well, that's it.
So how difficult will it be, I think, to find a manager? I know you said that was that having a good manager was really critical to this. I'm just wondering how difficult you think that would be to find the person you need to run this, and how long might that take? And my other part is, I also think we need a liquor license for West Center. I'm very impressed with how well all that is going, and I think Steve does a great job, and hey, makes money.
Great.
Okay.
I have a question for Steve.
I ask?
In your
I'll get that next.
presentation here, you were looking at certain hours to just get started. If we do it slowly, I know Jody wants to run faster than maybe some of the rest of us do, but, and I see she has a good vision. She has a good vision to go that way. But just to get started for like, a barista and I don't, and what type of hours would you like? Because you don't have to be open at 5:30 in the morning. And I mean, we could advertise not 5:30 in the morning. We could start later and just be open for, say, a 4-hour period.
Seven. I mean, can't we let Scott figure that out with whomever he finds to hire and let them work out the details and not have us like work on.
I just don't want, we've gotten so many letters. I just don't want people to feel that it's going to be open from 5:30 to 2 o'clock.
I think we let them, the momentum should be based on who's there, what they feel they can deal with. And
once you get them coming in, they can give you suggestions of what they're looking for, and that'll even help us more.
No.
I would say my motion would be for the bistro to be for breakfast and lunch. So 7 to 2, 7 to 1, that's up to, that's up to operations. But it is not, it doesn't go into the evening at this time. Right. It can in the future, but the performer would be based on the 5 to 6 days, 7 to 2. The reason why the 5:30 comes into play is that the center opens up at 5:30 for the billiards people to get in.
And then the staff has to start at 6:30 in order to open up at 7. And 7 is an important time because those walkers come. And the staff that are working, the non-GVR people that are working, they come and pick up their coffee. I mean, that's the business flow that was happening there.
Okay, but
So 7 to
I
2.
was just talking in terms of the coffee specialties and and pastries, not the lunch, not a lunch offering at the very beginning.
What difference does it make?
But Joy is correct.
What difference does it make to us as a board, whether they start with coffee or whether they start with coffee and lunch?
Well,
I mean, what difference does it make?
Thank you.
I would argue the same with the hours of operation. I mean, we have a plan and we know when people are in there and when they're not in there and when the demand is higher. And so we would, like any business, work to accommodate our members. While I have the floor, the manager, we've already got a few in-house staff that have expressed interest in this. When the bakehouse left, we wanted to move forward as quickly as possible. So we've teed up a lot of things already in preparation of this meeting and in hopes that the board would agree with our recommendations. So we've already started having conversations with potential managers, some other current staff that have food and beverage backgrounds. We might be able to just repurpose them, transition them pretty easily. I have a question about the private versus the public. If GVR were to do this, we were not anticipating this be open to the public.
That's why in my motion, I separated the two businesses. So you've got it like the American Legion has it. You've got the public bistro, and then you've got the separate entrance for the lounge. And that's where the liquor license would be. In essence, we're not selling liquor through the coffee bar at this time from 7 to 2. And there's not, after 1 o'clock that, the traffic dies down. And that would be my proposal.
I hear you. I would like to know why. Why?
Closing it.
No,
Why does the public need to be part of this venture at this point? And if they're not, and why can't we sell the beer and the wine and the stuff out of the bar, the cafe, instead of having a separate little cart in the rec side? I mean, I'd really like to open it all up so that it's not these separate rooms, so that it is a member situation.
It's not uncommon, even like at Quail Creek, their coffee bar was opened up on the Madeira side for public members. Now they've got the the private club, but we went out originally in this plan to say that we were going to be open to the public. We did that because we were trying to get as much capacity as possible in there. You have people that are non-GVR members that don't buy a guest pass. And so you're attracting them. You have also people like the fire department people, the people who are working in the neighborhood. You have Canoa Ranch people who come there in the mornings and buy. And so that has been the setup, and we counted on it that is a portion of the pro forma to bring in the private sector. And so to continue that. And I don't think you benefit by having wine at, from 12 to 1 by, I'm offering that.
I don't know why. I think people would like to have a glass of wine from 12 to 1. I don't know. I don't think we need to decide when we're selling beer and wine, honestly. I mean, if the board says we're not going to sell alcohol, that's a policy question. We'll get rid of it at West Center too. Chris had something, and then I wanted to jump in on
I
another
was just
thing.
curious because I didn't know, how much money did we receive from the bakehouse?
That's what I was
In
gonna
non-member.
fees. For a year, 60, no, they gave us a sizable amount the last quarter.
But it was less than $100.
Yeah, I thought it was like $60 plus the $5 they gave us before. We probably got $65.
In the year.
They want to keep it track.
So if the facility, the Cafe Bistro, were to be open to the public, then then why couldn't we sell the beer and wine out of that side also?
Because you can't, I thought you couldn't get the liquor license.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's true. You would need an eligible guest.
Yeah.
And that guest has to accompany the, I see what you're saying.
GVR best.
It's the American Legion model versus the Elks model. In the Elks, you got, when you go to the door, the non-member, the members gotta meet you and pay a $5 fee to get in.
Right.
At the American Legion, they got the public side and the,
Guess not.
yeah, the guest side.
Okay.
So that's just true.
Nellie, or I'm sorry, Natalie.
Why don't we revisit our walk-up window for public?
Yeah.
And leave the interior members only.
We talked about doing that initially, and I think that makes really good sense.
Why not do that and see if we're, to not have money on the table?
And then it's still a private club.
Hole and, you know.
Okay.
It'd be very easy to do that. I think that's a great idea. That was our original plan, so that we could capture the walkers outside, other people in the area that weren't.
Have outside seating.
There's outside seating.
That's perfect. I
Yeah.
have a comment. on that.
Okay,
The thing that because I'm not gonna be here, so I vote.
Good idea.
You already can't count it. I vote yes, yes, yes. Also, it's going to take 3 months to get the private liquor license, so we're not gonna be able to do that right
Might be
away.
longer
Just because
than
it takes they have to do fingerprinting, they have to do, and then classes and everything,
do.
so it takes a while for the background checks. So that's gonna be well into summer at this point, but if we can do and leave it up to Scott, if they've got a plan and everything, if you wanna open it for breakfast, lunch, and whatever have you, do it, go for it, let's see what we can do.
Agreed. I mean, we would like to start small and go from there,
Yeah,
and then see where it goes.
So I would have that staff bring in a performa on that particular model, then that opens up the bistro from 7 to 2. The other, or whatever,
Well, let
the
them.
bistro, can they decide on this? Oh, they gotta bring in a staffing pattern.
I thought-
Staffing pattern.
Yeah, I thought we did that. I thought we provided that in your attachment here.
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Actually, no.
There were a couple of different.
There's one from the sub.
There were a couple-
No, it's not from the FAC subcommittee, but there are 2 memos in there from Steve Kindred
Yeah.
that
Where is there?
provide the business plan.
All right, well, this is, what,
There were 2 staffing financials. One for, sheriffs and one for.
Yeah,
Okay, but if we agree on the 10,000 and it's included within the 10,000, why do we care that's operations?
you have to deal with staffing.
We
That's
don't,
capital.
Scott does.
Scott does. Right, I understand, but if it's still included within the 10,000 is to hire people.
No, that's capital. That's not.
That would be separate.
Okay,
That's
my bad.
totally separate.
That would be
So you'll need it
separate.
for free, so I just need to say one more. There's no pro forma here in the document. There's a narrative assumptions that you would get, that from a percentage standpoint. It's not a pro forma from a cash flow. So, the cap, am I right? And basically, it's a percentage model. The second point is the issue of occupancy. So you just, I worked on this many hours on the performance. And so that's why I suggest between now and next Wednesday, we take your assumptions and put them then into a format with the occupancy that we have. The occupancy that is there right now is not the occupancy that I had in my performa. It's different. There are not as many chairs, not as much seating capacity. And so it makes a difference when you're looking at it. And some of the.
What difference does it make? I mean, exactly, what difference does it
It's
make?
revenue, and revenue to support staffing that's needed and whether you have a deficit or not. Whether you can cash flow.
We're
That's
gonna figure that out now.
we
no,
should.
by next Wednesday,
You're
you.
gonna
How
figure
can
out.
how can we pass this without looking at the numbers?
You've
Like
got,
on page 51, for example, there's a monthly forecast for what this coffee shop is deemed to do.
right,
So the question is, the number of customers that are on here, have we adjusted seasonally for the number of people? Is this a midpoint? Is this an acceptable customer count? And then notice on year 1, under the net income, we've got a loss for year one, which is 25,000. And then we're hoping to make that up in year two with a profit of 22,000. Now, another question is, how much more money are we gonna need to start this up, right?
The original one from last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Does this need to be updated just for the coffee shop?
This needs to be updated for the coffee shop. It needs to be updated for the wages, are a bit different.
We thought we had done all that, so I'd like to know more clearly what it is that we didn't do that you think we should do.
Is it here?
Steve, do you want to join the table and?
Well, I
Or let-
would say that, in the narrated financial model, there were two models, two staffing models. One is for all day. The other is with the assumption that we're gonna start slow, it has the best parts, and we're gonna get benchmarks, we go forward, or just revenues too much. And I think that staffing model contained about the same staff hours that were in the original plan.
They were.
Done a couple of years ago.
Oh. You know what you're doing?
Well, there's page, you've got some numbers on page 24, which are weekly expenses.
This one here.
And that's 17,000 a month. And then you've got on page 26, weekly expenses, that's like not 10,000, you named 8,000 a month. But you don't, and then you have eight, you got how you're gonna recover your 10,000 a week spent.
Yeah.
On page 28, but there's nothing that's 41.
I think we're very close to putting it together. The concern that I have is I could not tie back the percentage ratios here when I was talking about on page 23, recognizing the overhead would be minimal. The committee set up an overall calculation following the second fully functioning year of the cafe. I have different percentages ratio wise. So I don't want to get into that versus just to say, let's just put the staffing pattern together. The issue is on the capacity, what capacity had. And the other, there are three assumptions that drive the performance is cost of goods or the purchase price per person. And I had 625, if yours is 7, you just plug it in. And you can adjust it. You also need to look at, a little bit of seasonality.
You're looking more for cost accounting.
Well, it's a performance. It was in the business plan. It was in the subcommittee's business plan. It's that level, it's that performance.
But a lot of the expenses the first year was in the equipment that we didn't have. Now we have it. So that's up.
That we set aside at $50,000 and we spent that down. And so basically we had, we were looking at when we broke even. That is why the old performance doesn't work either. Because the old performance was based on higher occupancy and it was based on the fact that 50% of people didn't know it was a Del Sol Cafe or a Del Sol Clubhouse. Remember the marketing study when we did? Mm-hmm. So we were starting from scratch. We're not starting from scratch. So the fact is that we got a better ability to bring in business and at the event center. So this thing can cash flow. But if you're going for a vote at the board, you got to have something that's a bit more tight. Looking at it, you're going to need, 4 FTEs or 3 FTEs and 5 employees. And you've got those estimates and you put it into a cash flow from opening up in $10,000 a week. You need, that assumption is so high compared to what I had in my performance.
All right. And what are the seasonal adjustments, right?
That's really where without getting into the numbers.
I'm sorry, why do we need all this when we think that we've got it? At least, let's get trying it and then see what it is after a couple of weeks. Why? He's got the number of FTEs that he wants. And if we want to start out slow, you do from 6 to 2 or whatever Scott decides and move forward. instead of pulling this down with an anchor by doing paperwork and then check and see it in a month. I don't see why we have to have all these submittals or everything put out at this point to go forward on something that seems like most of us all want to try. And maybe that's just my lack of the fiscal affairs. I just don't get it. I think we're pulling them down and it's gonna drag it. It's not happening.
Well, I think Scott and Steve have already worked on a presentation as to what they want to do. And it seems to me that we are getting involved in the operations and we need to let them do that. I'm with Jody. I do not see having to have specific, this and this has to happen in order to do that, because things are gonna change. We have to have the flexibility. Staff has to have the flexibility to make it work. And they have the numbers and they know from their staff how many people were going into that cafe.
May I ask that question?
Scott has a
Scott?
comment.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I'll be perfectly honest. We were ready to pull the trigger and have this go like within a week after the bakehouse moved out. And the reason we didn't, quite honestly, is because of this conversation. I went, wait a minute. We're not going to do anything until the board gives me clear direction on what to do. I've been accused way too many times of overstepping my authority, and I'm not going to set myself up for that again. So that's why we're having this work session, and that's why we have this scheduled for a board meeting, so that I have a majority of the board that is saying, this is what we're going to do. We were ready to go, but I went, you know what? I don't think that's the direction we're going to go. I do think we're getting into the weeds a little bit here. I mean, we can put together the staffing model and tighten that up a little bit as you've asked. I don't think the seating is something, I mean, we've already got a model that says this is how many coffees we're going to sell, we think, and how many pastries we're going to sell, et cetera. I don't see why the seating is such a big deal. We're drawing from not the seating capacity in the cafe. We're drawing from the capacity of the entire building, as well as the outside walkers and vendors that are hopefully going to come up to the door. So I don't think we need to get wrapped around the axle on the seating capacity. We really just need to estimate how many coffees and pastries and glasses of wine we have to sell once a week.
And I think we've already proven that this works and we don't need to recreate the wheel. We're gonna have somebody different operating it. And I think we need to go forward, give it a shot. Don't know within a year or less if it's gonna work or not. Steve has already figured out, all he's got to do is hire the right person. I think we need to give them a chance. Like last year, I didn't get the feeling that GVR wanted to do it on their own. And this year, it sounds like, at least with Steve's report, it sounds like we think we can do this. And I think we need to give them a chance. And I'm for it.
I agree. But, no,
I think that I agree with you. I'm really excited. I can't believe we're at the point of saying we're looking at operating our own. I put a lot of effort into it. So to me, it is an opportunity, but I don't go in blindly. And looking at some of the exposure and the risk that we have and the questions that could be asked publicly of us at the board meeting. And so one of the questions is there's additional research that was done beyond my study. And so I based my research on La Posada and Mountain View Cafe and Francisco's motif. What research, you mentioned research, how did we get the numbers that we're going to be the 70, the volume? How did we get that from our research? You mentioned research.
Well, but by research, you mean, did we go out and poll these see behind what buy a copy? We didn't do that.
Yeah.
We came up with what we thought, and I think a stake in there that these numbers are gonna be flexible. We get a manager in who's gonna know what they're doing, and they're gonna say, no, you're not gonna do this, but you're gonna do this instead. And the other thing we're basing it on the increased sales are the fact that we're gonna drag traffic, a whole heck of a lot more.
Yeah.
And it has been driven. We already have our events department. I've asked them to wrap that up, and they're wrapping that up today. They have it back, so, that's going to be a regular thing. So we think the past, the traffic that was in the past is apples and oranges with the traffic we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask a question of these board members before we get to next week. How many would like it to be GVR members and how many would like it to be open to the public? I think that's gonna have something to do with it.
Well, liquor license, it's gotta be.
No, but we're not talking liquor license
So
right now,
just say
Jody.
that-
That's,
just say
that's in
one-
the future.
Say one and we get to vote. Just say, how many want, just GVR members?
Okay,
Raise
how
your
many
hand.
want GVR members only? Okay.
Now, if they have the opening, the window for the people.
Sure, but that could be, the only people in the building
Got it.
are
Okay.
GVR members.
Yeah,
so
But
why-
I'm not objecting to
Okay.
having a
I just
window
wanted to clarify.
for people that are non-members. I have no issue with that at all.
Yeah.
One
Steve?
question, why would we limit the marketing and sales to only GVR members? We know there have been members from outside of GVR who used the cafe in the past.
So those
And that
people
like-
that are set to join GVR.
Right.
They don't qualify.
Unfortunately, you have to take into consideration if we're
Jump
going
in,
to
measure.
change the liquor, it has to be members only. And if they're going to expand, and I think that's the way they're headed, that has to be limited to members only unless somebody comes in as a guest appropriately. Otherwise, you can't do liquor.
So you bring
And
it.
at that point, it would be difficult to pull back. It's easier to pull back now
Yes,
when we're going from a vendor to operating it ourselves.
absolutely.
And an operational question on that, just the cafe. Is there a way that you can make somebody scan a card, not at the door, but like before they buy something, they can scan the card, now we can run, now we can charge you for the coffee or donut or whatever.
We could do
Because I know
that.
they weren't doing that before, they said, oh, people are honest. I
Yeah.
know they weren't.
No, if we wanted to open to the public, we could figure out a way to do that.
No, I mean, to keep it private, if they don't have a card, then I'm sorry, I can't.
So then they can't get in the front door.
In the building.
There's people holding, I was at the pool at Center Springs
They do.
yesterday and a guy walked in right
Because
behind me.
they
He had a card, he had it out, but he
It
didn't
used to
scan
be
it.
open.
Right.
They had
That
a green
happens all
light
the
on.
time.
Yeah.
You know, if that's a concern, we could figure out a way to make sure those people that are at the register are members. I mean, if that's the concern, we can figure
I
that
don't
out.
know, is that?
But I think the first question is, do we want to be open to the public or not?
Only as a guest, they can't walk in on their own.
Correct,
I would be okay if there's a guest.
correct. If they're a bona fide guest and have a guest card,
Yeah.
then yes, they could go in. Just, and we would treat it like any other facility.
So I
So
can
that
bring my
means-
friend from church with me, even if she doesn't have a guest card and get coffee.
That's
Right.
That is the Presbyterian issue up here in that area.
Unless that person's a member.
No, okay,
So I think in that case, she would need a guest card.
okay.
I mean, that just treats all of our facilities the same.
Okay.
It's consistent across the board. There's certainly an argument to be made that this is, you know, a separate facility and needs to be treated differently. That's,
So we're we gonna be able to vote on this next week? Are we gonna be ready to vote?
Scott?
I'm gonna ask that it be on the agenda because I don't think you can postpone the decision.
I would agree with Nellie.
Yeah.
Yeah. it
And,
needs to
and
be
if
on the
people
agenda.
don't, if there's not the votes for it, then we need to move on. It's important that we keep the momentum here.
I think we need to get it up and running as soon as possible.
Not GVR.
Everybody's asking for it.
I'm gonna tell you, I agree. I'm a little concerned about paralysis by analysis. And this was a good conversation that I think confirmed my concerns.
Yeah.
I have a email from Bart because he had to go. He wants us to be out there. The last couple of years, at every opportunity I can recall, both at committee meetings and board meetings, I've pitched the idea of letting GVR clubs offer on a rotating voluntary basis a self-help honor system coffee prepackaged pastry operation at Del Sol Clubhouse with net proceeds retained by the clubs involved. This idea has the potential of being easy, low impact way to make these services available to GVR members without GVR operating a restaurant or entering into another agreement with a restaurant operator or buying or leasing vending machines. I respectfully ask that adoption of this idea be added as a board option to the future iterations of your DSC food and beverage service document in the meeting book today.
An option.
I was confused. He wants the clubs to.
Clubs.
Coffee shop.
On a rotating
And
basis.
they're gonna have trained baristas and.
Right.
what-
You're gonna have to.
They can just
Suggest
make
that's not gonna be-
Who's gonna do the training?
That's right.
Who gets the licensing?
Okay.
We'll add it.
Keep track of volunteers.
If we have internet
can't even do that in the
house, we can.
You need to.
I mean, we'll add as an option.
No, you get, everybody here's for it.
Or the zip line.
You can deputize somebody to vote for you.
Yeah, right? I'll see you guys.
Have a good trip.
He's asking for that to be on the meeting book, but
It would be in the staff report, I think, as an option, just for consideration. And we always list the options. This would be another, or I've got three right here. We could add a fourth.
It's hard enough for the clubs to get volunteers to run their own.
yeah, they can't even get
Somebody that was
volunteers for
supposed to
their
run
board.
the store, the counter at the Glass Studio today, but she couldn't make it, so somebody else had to fill in. And you're not gonna have, we've got.
It's not gonna be consistent,
No,
is what
it's
you're
not.
saying.
It's not gonna be consistent, and you're gonna have people that don't show, and then what do you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're not open today because the person that lives up in coffee isn't.
Right.
Volleyball, don't want to play volleyball.
I have a
Don't
question.
necessarily want to pour coffee.
Okay, Steve's got a
I have a
question.
question. So to me, it appears that we're not using Steve Kindred's email for it, because that's a more, a larger scale operation.
But it's
We're using more of a,
Small.
It's
we're using more of a
It says-
coffee shop, and that's what we
We
need
start
to
small.
sell to the membership,
Yeah.
It
right?
says we start small.
Okay,
But
so I
you
would.
started small and then.
No,
it's-
but I know, but when people, if people look at that, it's $10,000 a week that we're recovering. I know we aren't doing it. We're gonna start small, but I think we need to rewrite that so that it's just for a coffee shop. Okay, and that's what we're doing. We're not doing a restaurant. There's a lot of members that do not want us in the hospitality business. They don't want us running a restaurant. So if we can prove that we're successful with a coffee shop, and then we can grow it from there. I think that'll give people a lot more confidence. I think when I read Steve Hendricks' email, I think he did a very good job.
It was a memo.
Explain everything, but it concerned me because of the dollars that we had to recover and the number of customers that we needed to have to cover that.
The proposal was an amendment to the subcommittee's business plan. And it took it way beyond the scope of what the subcommittee was recommending. And so I'm recommending that our scope is a bistro only at this time for board approval. And if we want to expand beyond that, bringing in a liquor license and that, then I think you come back.
Yeah.
But I agree with Steve. If you, like I said, this is an expansion onto the business. The business plan never got a board meeting, remember that? It never got a board meeting.
That's right. It was a 7 to 5, even when we asked for a special meeting.
Nobody has seen the business plan from an official standpoint. So to me, it's like writing up an email. You can reference the business plan, but say we're proceeding and we're gonna implement it. But maybe in the future we'll come back. But the future is not like 6 months from now. If the future is, let's prove ourselves that we can do a bistro and then, come back in another year when you've got financials, but
You don't think that we're, like you said, leaving money on the table? I mean, you don't think that if this vision you know,
We can move forward and expand it.
right.
Excuse me, Scott, you want
Go
to?
ahead.
I do, yeah. I'm concerned that we're becoming too prescriptive in terms of, well, we're going to do a cafe, or we're going to do a coffee shop, we're going to do a bistro. I don't know what those terms mean, and I don't know why the board needs to have that discussion. I think we staff are very capable of pulling something like this off. We've already talked, Steve put in his memo that we would anticipate starting small and moving up. And when we're at full capacity, then we might be able to pull off the $10,000 a week, but that's years away. I don't think, that we have visions that that's going to happen right away.
Did we vote?
We're not voting.
But I am just a little concerned about, we're talking about hours of operation, we're talking about what we're going to serve. And I think you're really getting into the weeds on that. And this was honestly, again, part of my concern and why I wanted to bring this to you, because I didn't want to step out and then have some people say, well, you didn't follow board
Did we
direction.
vote on whether we're gonna have wine and beer?
No,
And then mixed drinks at West Center? Did we vote on that?
No,
All of a sudden I go there and it's great.
right.
People love it.
See, that's what we think our jobs are.
You know, famous around
Town?
there. Oh.
Don't ask me why.
And, people come, they're buying it, their money is coming in. Presumably we're making money doing this. And I'm like, we didn't sit down and say, okay, now between the 8 and 10 o'clock, you'll be able to serve so much liquor, but it happened. And I went and got some of us went and got our licenses to serve and
Certificates.
and it's fun. Like I say,
And it
didn't
works.
need us to prove it, really.
That's pretty simplistic.
I mean,
But it works.
but I'm just saying,
Got us
too.
Yes,
you know what?
last night we did
If
that.
they make it work, if they make it work, if they make dinners work, if they make events, this is alcoholic, Del Sol work and make money at it, why are we complaining? Why do we need to pay attention?
Why do we
to that?
need to be a part of it? We don't need to be a part as to what.
We know that people want to go to Del Sol. They want to have some kind of refreshments there. And that's clear. And maybe as things grow, they want to have beer and wine there. They clearly like to have a coffee there. So, I mean, I don't know why, like he says, why are we being prescriptive about it?
I don't think, I think you have to be prescriptive to the degree that you lay out your business plan, and because we're bringing in a new business with GVR staff, and you need, from a fiduciary standpoint, to say, yes, this same cash flows. And you need to show it.
And this is how it's
And,
gonna work.
and it's got, and here's your investment, because you've got risk. This issue is a license, it's also a licensure issue. Department of Health, we're taking on these additional responsibilities. So that is why you don't have to, I don't care whether it's muffins or croissants. I do care on the estimate that we make sure we're cash flowing. Because to the extent that we don't cash flow this, it impacts our other GVR operations.
I agree.
But they will.
They're losing money continually. I think they're not.
But you need to lay it out to say, what's your plan? I don't plan to lose money. This thing can cash flow, but you just got to put it on paper. Yes, it can cash flow. And these are my assumptions. And from a risk standpoint, you'd want to do that from a business plan.
If the board doesn't do that,
Yeah.
it's not doing its due diligence.
I think you can put it together.
Well, I don't think it's our job to prescribe what operations should do, because we, as Beth said, we know that what they have developed with regards to the events already works. It already works and it's already making money. We know that. So I would disagree with you, Nellie. I don't think I need to have a written prescription as to what we're going to do.
You need a cut warm.
The coffee shop already works, the lunch already works, we know that, that's
Yeah.
already been proven, it was just another name on the door.
That thoughts ready?
It's funny because I'm kind of caught in the middle here a bit, or I see both sides. I do have to, maybe not to the extent that Nellie's describing, but we are going into a new business. I mean, yes, we've had stuff there before, but that wasn't us. That was the bakehouse that did it. It wasn't GVR. GVR has not been in the restaurant business or the bistro business or the cafe business. So we are fundamentally changing a little bit of our brand because we decided to take on that responsibility ourselves as opposed to farming it out. So, but I think there is some responsibility on our side to say we decided to take this on because, and it is a brand new line of business for us. We've never been in this line of business. If there are some expenses that are going to be put forth, which there are going to be, it's a new line of business. I think we owe it to Steve's point to the board to say, in order for us to get into this new line of business, we have to spend $10,000. And over the next year, we will be assigning 4 FTE, new FTE. I mean, maybe they're new to that line of business. They're already current business, but they're new to that line of business. Who will we be doing this? And we expect at the end of year 1 to be 10,000 in the hole or 10,000 ahead. I don't know. But this is a new line of business for us. And I think we do need, notwithstanding that I agree, this is the hard part, Kathy, is I agree with you. I trust these guys implicitly. I think I've demonstrated that over the last 5 years. Like, I don't want to be in their line of business. I don't want to go there. But this is a new line of business. And we, the board, are saying on behalf of the membership, or we as the board, we're saying to Scott, we are going to allow you to now go into a new line of business. That's what we're saying. This is a brand new line of business. We've never done this. We're changing the brand. We're adding something new. It's not in our strategic plan to do this. I think we have a duty and responsibility to our membership to have a little bit more than just we think they know what they're doing. I think to support Scott and his team, I think he needs more. I think, Scott, you need more from us than just we think we know what you're doing. I think you need a solid, we are totally behind you.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in your pursuing this line of business for GVR based on the information that you've brought to us. We fully support you. I have to agree with Nell here. This is a new line of business for us. And there's nothing strong enough on the table here that. Yeah.
I thought we had done that, but as I've already said, if we need to tighten up the business plan that Steve has already put together by looking into greater detail on the costs of staff, startup costs, et cetera, and does that cash flow, I think we can do that. Where I have concerns and why I raised my hand was because we started talking about we're going to do just a coffee shop. We're just going to do a bistro. We want to be open from 7 to 2, but not after 2. That's where I thought, you know what? I think we're getting into the weeds here. Too much.
I don't want to have that conversation with you. That's what we pay you and your team to do. You go and figure that out. You figure out what's the best way, how to move this from point A to point Z, and whatever point Z is going to.
We have a very capable, competent staff that can do exactly that.
Great. All you need from us is to say, because this, Scott, this is the new line of business. You need to, and yeah, maybe it's just a bit of a cleanup of this to make it, 3 pages or something.
You know what? It's fine that this is a new business. I get what you're saying, and I get what Nellie and Steve are saying. Again, getting into the details and wrapped around the axle is where it was a little concerning.
I don't want the details.
We completely understand. This is a work session, right? Mm-hmm. And so the discussion was, what direction do we want to go? I'm hearing that the board wants to continue pursuing that GVR develop an in-house cafe or bistro. Yeah. And so we know that time is of the essence. We know that the members want something. We get emails every day from them. So we don't want to sit on our laurels here. And I'm hoping that we can pull something together that will satisfy the need for some additional work so that you feel more comfortable, more additional information, so you feel comfortable in your decision. But this was just kind of the first discussion. This could have been, you know what, we want you to pursue the vendor option and find another vendor. And then that would have been a different type of discussion.
But Scott, just a second, Nellie, Scott, the problem right now is you guys are only gonna have 2 days to get this out for a board meeting next Wednesday, and that's not gonna work.
It's not gonna happen.
That's not enough time. But I think if you give, a description of what you would like to do and a time, let's say we're gonna try it out for 8 months. Test it for 8 months, and if that's good, if we can step it up, we will. If we can't, we won't.
Half of those months are summer months though.
Summer.
Yeah, I would
But we have to be able to work during the summer months too.
That's not what I'm looking for.
I guess I would suggest, because I'm gonna ask if this be on the agenda.
It's on the agenda. We're planning
Right,
on
but
it.
I don't want anybody to move it off like what happened 2 years ago. So I would request that. But I think for the purpose of Friday, to write the general, to write the concept that we're moving forward. And between now and Tuesday, to basically write, to put together the performance. We have the performa format. We have it all done by seasonality. And David, I think you got it also from the business plan.
In my mind, the performance is built into that proposal. It's in, I can read it, and in my mind, I've got a performer in my mind. I don't understand. When you say performer, what do you mean?
Well, it's in the business plan and.
The one you did.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this document, when I read it, I'm comfortable that it has, we can put numbers on paper. And I guess we can do that, but
Look at seasonal, I mean, the business.
what is the seasonality? I mean, there's gonna be months where it's lower and there's months that it's higher.
That's what the business plan did,
Well, why do you need that?
because it impacts cash flow.
Well, it is cash flow. Okay, it's,
And you just, I'm supportive of this. I'm looking for that one extra step to get. And to justify the 3 or 4 FTEs we're gonna be asking for. Steve in the budget.
Yeah, just a couple of things. In hindsight, and I thought about this when Scott told me he was gonna go public with the memos. I wish I'd have led with this is where we're gonna start rather than this is where we're gonna end. And oh, by the way, this is where we're gonna start, and how we're gonna get there.
Okay.
The second is, the assumption I was making all along and coming up with these numbers is, we had someone in there for over a year. They obviously were making money because they didn't walk away from it. And so obviously with the number of people they had there and what they were selling, they were getting by. And so
Yeah,
I've
but
got
they weren't doing it for the whole-
I've got to believe that we could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we understand why they were making it potentially,
So-
another business.
so I don't think anyone's taking any,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't think anyone's disagreeing with what you're saying. I agree. Somebody's making money. And I hate to reiterate, but this is a new line of business for GVR. We have never been in the food business. We have never taken it on a full-time basis. We just have never done them. And I'm sorry, Scott, but sometimes things have to slow down to speed up. And I, as a board member, want to be able to say that, yes, the information is all there to a certain degree. But somehow you need to bring a briefing note or some kind of a note, whatever you call it in the States, we call it briefing notes, for approval. To move forward with a one pager. I don't know if you've got a one pager in there that says this is how much money we're gonna make, or it's 4 new
I
FTE.
thought it does. It doesn't have that? Okay, my bad.
I don't know, however you wanna do it, I don't know, the information, to David's point, the information is all there. So
I thought it was, and maybe am I just wrong?
2 pages. But I think this has to be a lot more solid than. I think we just have to demonstrate that that we're making this decision to move forward into a new line of business with, and here's why we're doing it. It's not in the strategic plan. We always talk about the strategic plan and how we have to stay on strategic plan. If we wanted to be that prescriptive, we could say, it's not a strategic plan, so we're not doing it this year. We could say that. It's not in your strategic plan.
It'd save us a lot of time.
No, I know, but I'm
I know what
just,
you're saying.
I'm just saying, many times it comes back to the board, it's not a strategic plan, so we can't do this. Well, I'm just saying, it's not in the strategic plan. I don't see what the resistance, why the resistance. I don't understand. Don't do it.
I don't know what,
Getting in your way.
I don't know what I'm not being resistant, Lanny. I don't know where that's coming from. I have said we will update the pro forma to tighten it up as best we can, and then try to bring something back to you so that you have the information that you need to vote next week. That is exactly what I said. So I don't know where, I'm not being resistant. I don't understand that. I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, I want to give you what you need to move forward. I said this was a work session. You're not able to make a decision today. We're going to bring what you need next week in order for you to give direction to me on how to move forward. But if I came across as saying, I think you're being resistant, that's not true. And that's not how I wanted to portray myself, because I am trying to be open to the conversation. I think, as I've said a couple times, the conversation became more concerning when we really got into the weeds on the hours of operation. What food items are we going to sell? Are we going to be a coffee shop, a bistro, or a cafe? The only thing that you've really voted on today for direction is, I think most people said they wanted it to be private with a walk-up window for the public, but I don't know that that's been settled yet either. So it would probably be good to get a vote on that as well. But again, if I came across as thinking you all were being resistant, I apologize.
And the bell rings.
Yeah.
Somebody's bell.
It's part of the problem. I mean.
I think we're at an exciting point. I think that Del Sol Cafe is exciting.
Dingman, second.
But I agree with you, start.
What did you say?
Dingman adjourned.
Oh, Dingman adjourned. Okay, I have a
We need a
motion.
second.
I have a motion from Beth to adjourn. Second. Thank you, Beth.
I don't know what's a whole new business. I think we've already been doing.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Hey,
There's a lot of the counties.
License wasn't in our name. Because they've already been doing stuff like that in different events and things like that. We're not sharing.
Is it up before we can fix it with the air?
So I love that. Oh, I think I'm tired of those early morning flights.
I don't know. It's, okay, let's do it.